Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Gateway Show.
Hello, world.
Welcome back to the Gateway Show.
How's it going, everybody? We're back.
Yeah,
We've officially hit double digits for episodes.
that means we've
It's
been doing this for
happening.
That means we've been doing this for a little over 20 weeks now since we had to take a week off.
Yeah,
Whoa.
20 freaking weeks.
20
Hot
freaking weeks.
diggity
I can't
dangles.
believe it. How's it going, everybody?
What even is time?
I'm
What do
doing
you-
pretty good. I got some uranium fever.
What?
Uranium fever. It's done and got us down.
Uranium fever.
But we couldn't have gotten this far without our lovely players. Caitlin, where can they find you?
Oh, hello. You can find me all over the internet at Boobs McBalrog on Twitter and Instagram and Twitch. But on Twitch, it's Boobs McBalrog with zeros instead of O's because Twitch hates boobs. I can't even. I'm on vacation mode finally for the first time in months. So my brain is a squishy blob of unfunctional stuff, and I'm very ready to dive into being a robot lady and just shut out the world around me. I'm so
not
excited.
There.
Excellent.
We could have been watching so
Much
much good
great British.
GBB.
GBBBBB. Great British
bacon.
Bake Off.
Yeah.
We'll do it when you get back. Don't you worry. We have time.
Excellent.
We're gonna bake a cake.
Baking a cake. Rabbit, where can they find you? What are you up to?
Oh, man. Let's see. Well, unlike Twitch, I'm Rabbit. I like boobs. You can find me on twitch.tv/HeyMrRabbit. I stream on Monday and Wednesday through Saturday, except for the days I play Alvin. So, I've been playing The Surge 2. I finished RE8. The Surge 2 is really fun. I mostly play horror games, retro games, and RPGs. So, Surge 2 is a lot better than the Surge 1 in the fact that it's actually playable. And it's super rad. You don't clip through the floors. And you play as a dude who wakes up and you throw on this robot rig, and you can throw robot parts on yourself, and you can go ahead and fight alien nanomachine bots and like crazy people who've been blown out by the Surge, and just all of this crazy madness. Also, the main town, Jericho City, has a huge fox aesthetic. So if you like foxes and horrible dystopian like cyber cities, you'll love this game. That's the one I've been working on. Oh yeah, also Pillars of Eternity, but I wanted to play the Surge too. Anyway,
Hey,
that's me.
awesome. Lanny, where can they find you?
Hi, I'm Lanny. I also love boobs. You can
Nice.
find me all over the you can find me all over the internet at Lanny Pator, pretty much everywhere except Instagram, where it's Lan1gram. I am also going to be going on vacation shortly, so for the upcoming week, you can expect Roll with me on Monday if you're not all RPG'd out. Just made it to the Haven City of the Elves. Connor and Caitlin, you both joined me for that, along with Shadow Dancer Bob and Takahata 101.
Yeah.
So we'll see what's going on in the Feywilds and the weird future tech world of the elves.
I'm worried about the things people are gonna say.
Please do.
Yeah,
I spent
smart.
most of today meditating on plot stuff. So we'll
I
see.
thought you were gonna say slights and insults for my drow, who's gonna deal with a bunch of elves. Hooray!
Bro.
Yeah. No.
Oh
no.
man.
Big
Oh, don't
so
worry
you-
about that. Those will come naturally.
So you got future
Oh,
tech fancy star
wonderful.
elves. Oh, fancy star elves. That's freaking sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah.
Besides that, not sure what I'm going to be streaming most of this week. Might play some Knockout City. Might play some more Returnal. If Caitlin ends up asking me to play Stardew, I will probably end up playing Stardew with Caitlin at times.
Stardew.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm
Stardew's a fun
addicted.
time.
Getting close to
I'm
finishing that
addicted.
community. Getting close to finishing that community center.
Woo.
I'm gonna rage
I
it's 1992.
I couldn't put down Stardew for like 2 weeks after I
ragey.
started playing it.
1992, the ragiest of years.
Yeah,
Ragiest of years.
that's how hard you rage in Stardew. 1992 Ragers.
Mm. But yeah, that's mostly me.
Excellent. Sarah, where can I find you? What are you up to?
I'm Sarah. I am also a connoisseur of boobs. I have my own pair, actually. Amazing.
Nice.
Oh
Nice.
my god.
I know.
You
Is it?
do.
I know it was a roll of the dice. It's a great thing. You can find me at Sarah with an H and with an E Willia on Twitter. Let's see. I've been alerted that it is shill o'clock time.
Yeah.
Let's see. Shimagami Tensei Nocturne. No, wait, okay. Shimagami Tensei 3 Nocturne HD Remaster officially came out. I am the voice of Lasessis. She's one of the Moray sisters. The blonde child and Jack Frost in that. Well, pretty much anytime you hear a hee-ho related creature, that's me. So, yeah. Chilling done.
Hell yeah.
Woohoo!
Woo!
All right.
Yeah,
Me-
featuring Dante from Devil May Cry 3.
Ooh.
Ooh.
The third one, the best one,
Banana.
arguably.
Or is it just Devil
Argue.
May Cry series? What does that logo again say?
The featuring Dante from the Devil May Cry series.
That's the one. Woohoo!
Mm.
Wonder if they got Ruben for that.
Oh. Not to be confused with
Oh.
Oh yo.
Poyo.
And as
It
for
will
me,
never die.
I'm known to appreciate a good boob from time to time as well.
Just,
And they can find
just
me on-
one.
Yes.
On Twitter,
Yes, one.
Twitch, and
Yes.
yes.
Well, are you a right or a left man?
This isn't.
Like the
this
tw-
isn't.
Is this an-
this
is this
isn't
an
a Twix
open question?
situation.
This
This
is
isn't.
third. I wish I had not spoken
This
up.
isn't a Twix situation.
If you're not ambidextrous, then what are you doing?
I'm more of a side man. Appreciate a good side. man.
Refined taste.
They
Perhaps
they
it's
can
the mystical
find
third
me
one.
On Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube.com/Distortion Devil. I stream Tuesdays, Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays, playing some tabletop games with my buddies Count Widget and Hey Mr. Rabbit. He's in here.
Hey, how you doing?
Sometimes Probate shows up. Friday is Friday Funhouse, where I play a bunch of fun party games with my friends. We played Betrayal at House on the Hill.
Hell
And
yeah.
it was unfortunate. We got a scenario that really wasn't that great in comparison to some of the others. It was kind of poorly written, but
Aw.
we cleansed our palates with a rousing round of Joking Hazard, and that was a lot of fun. Saturdays before either Gateway or the Prince Division, right here at this time, you can find me playing Yakuza. We're on the third one right now. I think we're closing in sort of on the end of the game. We're completing the side quests. I need the Shisa pieces to become Shisa Man. And Sundays, I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to be doing after this Sunday, but this Sunday I will be guesting for one final day on D6DR, youtube.com/D6DR, as Sarako, the Air Genasi Barbarian.
Ooh.
Yeah. Other than that, be sure to check out Dead House Sonata. They have in-game renders out now, and holy shit.
I
That
saw
fucking vampire looks sick as fuck, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, he needs a doctor.
Yeah, Lord Zoran, the leader of the vampires. He,
Ooh.
oh boy.
Yeah, no, like I saw that, I'm like, oh, what? Oh, this is what that's the graphics. That's just the end game. Wow.
He could scare the spots off a dog.
Oh my god, the Dalmatian could become a no-mation.
It's
Oh
true.
my god.
I'm good on ranting on that. Thank you.
Then they won't be killing anyone's parents. Anyway. Anyway. Be sure to check that out. There should be a link in chat at some point. Unless no one's gotten to that, I'll go ahead and... Will that work? Oh, please don't tell me it's this.
Oh,
It's just
no.
house.
Oh, house.
Yes.
Our
It's house.
House.
House. House.
Our house.
In Zabita Absas Street. If you purchase that Founders Pack, you can get early access to Dead House Sonata later this year. Also, be sure to check out my DM's Guild. where I am releasing 5th edition subclasses until next year, which I should have just enough to put out one a month, and then I'll have all the classes done. The Augmented Artificer is up next. If you ever wanted to play Adam Jensen in D&D, then the Augmented Artificer is the subclass for you. You have a frickin' Mega Man arm cannon and shoulder-mounted missile launchers. How the
Please
fuck?
tell me you put in the Typhoon system for Deus Ex. Please tell me.
There is an ability in this subclass called Maximum Overdrive.
This is all I need to play. You said Adam Jensen. That's exact. I'm gonna play him in one of your campaigns. I'm gonna punch a man's head off and go, "What a shame."
What a shame. Yeah, rip.
I wouldn't go in there if I were you. It's kind of a mess in there. I don't like your tone.
Did
we just
this?
I asked for this many times.
Did I ask for this?
Emphatically.
I guess I'll sign here.
I begged for this.
I screamed at the top of my lungs until you replaced them. But anyway, that's coming out soon. Next month. Other than that, our sponsor for this evening is, and because Monty isn't here, I'll go ahead and do it myself.
Yay!
The Die Hard Dice!
Dice! Oh my god! Oh shit!
Okay.
Tell me all about them.
Die Hard Dice is a fantastic group that's been supplying us with some amazing polymer metal dice made of non-toxic materials. Many different styles, sizes, shapes, and colors, as well as carrying cases, dice towers, and holding trays. That I'll be utilizing tonight. I'm utilizing the Celestial Relic set, which is a beautiful sort of porcelain white and gold rimmed dice set that I'll be using tonight for some of our random generator rolls here.
Post a picture.
I would if I had some.
I've seen that set. It's very pretty.
Oh yeah. And you can find this over at dieharddice.com. And our very own Kobold Ranger is Hunter's marking down the prices, and if you use the code TASK at checkout, you can get 10% off your order at dieharddice.com.
Diehard Dice.
Hot damn indeed. But
Diehard Dice, you like shapes, baby? Anyway.
You want fries with that?
That's a lot of dice!
That is a lot of dice. And with that out of the way, it's time to read off some bits and subs. I'm just going to pull up one thing here real quick. Here we go. Okay.
All right.
Excellent.
Excellent.
Excellente. Zenlita, thank you for the 300 bits. Woo! 1/10 of the way to syndication. Let's go. The White Fox Sup, thank you for the 14 months. Let's go. Spencer Taylor, 182, thank you for the 11 months, or the 13 months. A year plus. Nice. Don't kill anyone who doesn't deserve it.
We'll see. We'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, we'll find out.
I should make that exact
it's
sound
fine.
again when it happens.
That's a headshot. Just put my hands on my shoulders. Just Cynthia.
Magic Ninja
Drug.
Go.
The Apex just tries to maim.
Great.
Yeah.
Magic Ninja Go, thank you for the 100 bits. I've been waiting for the Twitch show. I've been waiting for Twitch to show the channel was live, but it didn't do that until I accidentally clicked on the channel for some reason. Damn.
Great.
That's weird. Sergeant Tucker, thank you for the 100 bits. Apex needs to cast in the name of God.
Ye not guilty. It's an old reference.
Yeah. Sergeant Tucker, thank you for the additional 100 bits. Hey, Rabbit, if you would like a recommendation for a game, Bloodstained might fit your fancy. It's got heavy Castlevania inspiration.
I have played that. I played that on stream, but I've never got much more past the first level because I I have the attention span of that dog from Up. I'm like, let's play that squirrel, and I don't go back to it. But I love Castlevania, and since what was it, season 4 of the new season came out, right, for Castlevania?
Right, the final
last
season.
season.
I might go back to Bloodstained just because of that.
It's fucking good.
The game or the show?
Both.
Yeah.
Both? Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
I'm down for that.
It's better than the 3rd season, which got a little weird at the end.
Oh my god, it did. Oh god.
Speaking of a little weird, who are you? Where are my
Yeah.
pants? Thank you for the 20 bits. Caitlin, it will always be about pants.
What?
Always.
I have no idea.
Said
Spevacan,
it'll
thank you for
always
the...
be about pit.
It'll always be about pants.
Pants House Sonata.
Pants House Sonata. You can play as the
Pants
pants.
House.
You can play as the pants to fight the nudity.
Mm-hmm.
Spevacan, thank you for the
can play as
1,000
denim
bits.
khaki.
Whoa.
Um,
you.
That is a not. Thank you.
I actually have Saturday off for once, so I can actually catch you guys live. Can't wait to see what trouble you guys get into this time. They're in trouble.
Yeah,
We
we're already
already-
in trouble.
We already got there. Now we're figuring out what to do after
What
that.
the
How
extent
to not
of
be
that
in
is.
trouble
Indeed.
anymore. Maybe.
Zen Lita, thank you for that 200 bits. As a fan of puns and boobs, I applaud Lanny for being ambidextrous.
Thank you. I was worried that fell on deaf ears.
Magic Ninja Go, thank you for the 100 bits. Ball? Who are you? Where are my pants? Thank you for the tier, thank you for the sub for 2 months. 2 months, and I still haven't gotten them back. Just gotta keep trying, man.
Mm-hmm.
Protoss 103, thank you for the 100 bits. I have to work at 12 a.m., so have a great session. Try not to break any more bones, Apex.
Haha.
None of mine.
Stellar Coyote, thank you for the 100 bits. Connor, Augmented Artificer, play as Adam Jensen. Me, I didn't ask for this. I love the option and for that dialogue tree where you can just say, yeah, no, this is fucking awesome.
What?
Because he's talking about
He's
how
talking about getting his augments.
yeah, and you have an option where you can be like sort of dismissive, or you can be like, you know, I didn't ask for any of this, but you can also be like, man, this fucking rocks. I can see,
Oh
I
my
can see
God.
everything.
I got
Wow.
laser
I
feet.
can see colors men was not meant to see, like yellow and yellow.
Oh my god.
Pistol
That's-
trip vision
That second
activated.
yellow has 3 L's.
And
I think
brown.
so. Oh wow. Beautiful bouquet.
The
Takes a
Ink
lot of
Den, thank you for the
notes from-
200 bits. A joke via Cards Against Humanity. Black card. The session has really gotten derailed when blank. White card. The Apex became a best-selling author.
Oh gosh.
Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
Oh my god.
That might be a fun thing to do. Just to have a big old Unexpectables channel. Cards Against Humanity deck be built.
Oh, that would be fun.
That
Oh,
would be
God.
great.
Something to think about.
Oh,
Uh,
yeah, absolutely.
Magic
I would love
Ninja Go,
that.
thank you for the 150 bits. Hype Train? Steve
Hype
Anders, thank you for the
Train.
150 bits. I love my Die Hard dice, but I also just joined the Kickstarter for Orbidice from Blaster Light Gaming. They look awesome.
Whoa.
Ooh.
Magic Ninja Go, thank you for the 100 bits. Doggos! It's so perfect we got doggos and kitties or our Hype Train rewards.
Woo.
And finally, we've got Blackfoot Ferret with a 420 bits. So, that's what Coldplay's Yellow was trying to tell us.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I see it. All right. Now with that all out of the way, I think it's time to take us into today's episode of
Yeah.
Gateway.
Whoop.
Ah, damn, let's get going.
And where is it? It's here somewhere. Here we go. when last we left our Wastelanders, Apex the Wildman, Alvin the Mechanic, Louise the Scavenger, and Cynthia the Nurse, the gang had a long night's rest at the Talbot Inn, and stopping by for a last-second meal at the canyon before heading out on their journey to Clayton. While eating, they caught the eye of a strange, rotund man. Cynthia heard him whispering about them into a hidden microphone in his lapel. And after confronting him at the bar, things turned nasty. After a sudden and seemingly unprovoked bout of violence on Apex's part, Deuce made a quick getaway while the gang were detained. After a brief stint in the plaza's holding center, the mayor of Frontenac, a large, well-dressed man by the name of Marcus Niemann, wished to meet with them. What will happen at this meeting? Find out on tonight's episode of Gateway.
It wasn't unprovoked.
All right. So, I'm just gonna go down here, get the... There we go. So,
That's nice.
when we last left you all, you had been brought into the lavish, well-carpeted and clean chambers of Marcus Niemann. He sits across from you from a old but fancy desk made of wood. And he has a lit cigar in his mouth.
Apex surveys the room, but for the most part just kind of keeps his head down. He realizes that a lot of this is kind of his doing.
Well, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Marcus Niemann, and I am the mayor of Frontenac.
Well, it's nice to meet y'all. My name's Alvin Bronson. I'm with the St. Louis Machinists up at Riverside.
As I've heard, you wear the outfit well, it would seem.
Thank you very much, sir.
He pulls the cigar out of his mouth, and he licks his lips, and he looks over to Cynthia.
Well,
Howdy.
howdy to yourself. And what might your name be?
I'm Cynthia.
Cynthia.
Pleasure.
Pardon my curiosity, but you wouldn't happen to be a Robco machine, would you?
I like to keep that sort of thing to myself, if you don't mind.
You like to. So you...
Yes.
Interesting. Never seen something quite like you before.
I'll take that as a compliment.
It is.
And you, and he looks over to Louise.
Louise, via Vault 66.
Vault 66. My, you have come a long way.
You have no idea. Nice to take the time to talk to us in person. Makes me feel kind of important.
Well, we'll get to the reason behind that in a minute. I'd just like to get to know you. And you.
And he looks over to you, finally, Apex. And are you wearing the skull, by the way?
Yeah, I've kept the skull on since the encounter in the diner. Upon him looking at Apex, Apex will look over and try to keep his eyes in the shadows of his mask.
Who And what might you be?
I am the Apex.
He blinks and sort of takes a deep drag. Uh-huh.
Hmm.
You get your jollies off assaulting people?
It was not my intention to assault an innocent, but I do not believe he was one.
So I've heard. That's why I've asked you to come and meet with me.
Let me go ahead and get some other music in here. What about this? I'm going to turn that down so I don't explode your ears.
Oh, Thankles here.
Nah. Let's go with the 1920s speakeasy. That'll work.
Yeah.
The sounds will sort of just be coming from the outside, the businesses and such.
So, from what I've gathered from my men, it seems like you think the family is involved in my fine plaza here.
Yes, sir. That's correct.
And you believe...
Did you?
Hmm?
Oh, I'm sorry to interrupt you, sir. I was just going to ask if what was the name of that guard? Steve, something like that.
Daniel.
Daniel. Did y'all happen to go ahead and get the drop for the device that man had from Mr. Daniel, the prison guard?
He sort of adjusts himself in his seat and he pulls out a drawer and he grabs something. He sets it on the desk. It appears to be the crushed remains of that microphone.
I'll be. Yeah, that's the very same.
How'd you get a hold of that?
I have my ways. I've been suspicious of that man for quite some time, as a matter of fact. But I never really had anything concrete.
What raised your suspicions in the first place?
It's that caravan security company he's got. You don't just find men like that.
Oh, I agree. You definitely don't go ahead and find people like that every day.
He does.
Especially loaded for bear.
He does legitimate and good work, which is why these were only suspicions until you all showed up.
Does this mean the suspicions are confirmed?
Not quite. All you did was assault him.
I would have kept him in place if your security hadn't entered.
You'll have to understand, Mr. the Apex, that breaking a man's collarbone in the middle of a crowded gathering can raise some suspicion and alarm. I'm not sure how they do it where you're from, but here in Frontenac, that sort of thing is frowned upon, even in the best of circumstances.
Noted.
Good. So, do you have any evidence that Deuce is involved with the family? And be honest with me.
Well, let's see. Other than the fact of that microphone you have there, the schematic, and the fact that that very same microphone type was on the bomb collars back at the arena. That's all I have to work on. But you gotta admit it, that is not a unique piece of machinery. And the only other place I've seen it And hand to God here, sir, is on those bomb collars over at the arena.
You wouldn't happen to have one of those bomb collars, would you? I understand that you are escapees.
That is correct, sir.
That's not an easy thing you four pulled off.
I still don't know how. I guess we were a good match, and it was luck of a draw, you know.
Louise throws a glance at Apex and then just kind of snickers to herself.
They were disorganized and untrained.
Or you're just quick on the draw, Apex.
I was going to say, that doesn't sound like them.
It seemed like a well-organized organization.
family-
They had trucks full of weapons.
The family is quite organized and quite well-trained.
Then they were not prepared for an attack from the inside.
Apparently not. I think they sort of relied on their reputation in your case. Your escape, the fact that the four of you are all still alive, especially without your bomb collars on, is nothing short of miraculous, in my opinion.
Well, thank you
Okay.
very much for that compliment, sir. Unfortunately, I don't have the bomb collar I had. I was cheered for my life. The moment that thing was deactivated, I kind of winged that to one side.
That is unfortunate.
We used
As much
it
as
to
I would-
escape a distraction.
As much as I would like to believe you, this is a sensitive matter. Mr. Deuce has become fairly well ingrained in our little community here over the last year or so. He's done good work for some of the caravans that run through here and into St. Louis City. But it's something. I don't like people getting snatched up and sold into slavery.
Now, do I?
That we can agree.
Can't say I was a fan.
I'll tell you what. If you can find one of these bomb collars, bring it back to me intact. We might be able to reverse engineer that microphone. At least it will be
trouble.
something as well.
I mean, I feel like the only way that's happening is if we go back, and I don't think I want to get your trust as much as that. No offense, sir.
There's an alternate solution.
You're suggesting catching the slavers while they're dragging back slaves back to the arena, aren't y'all?
Or we find who buys the slaves. They would leave the collars on to make sure they would stay obedient.
Yeah,
Well,
that makes sense too.
Well, I might have a lead for you on that. The people over in Westport, though not all of them, there is still... Sorry, it's clearing my throat. There is still some slavery in Westport. They're a community much like ours, except they're fine with slaves and slave labor. That's how they make most of their revenue. Their economy sort of thrives on it.
They lie north of Clayton.
Correct.
I remember we had a bit of a sour run-in with Westport. Yeah, back with Boss Man and all them. Man, that's just a... How are we all going to get into Westport anyway? Just walk on in? Well, I guess that'll work, but...
I doubt that.
I've heard stories about Westport, but I've never rightly been myself.
And the people of Westport have heard stories about you.
Oh, great.
Oh, from the radio and all that.
That's where he's based.
Oh, no fool.
Westport
So-
Radio.
we should just walk into Westport just like that. That doesn't seem like a way we're going to be able to get bomb collars without just getting collared ourselves and dragged back.
No,
That's fair.
you're quite correct. Although, and forgive me if this sounds cruel, that's a problem that you're going to have to solve. I'm afraid I can't quite help you.
Should we bring back one of these collars? What would that do for you?
It would be evidence.
Not to mention, you could go ahead and reverse engineer that microphone.
We might be able to capture whatever signal is being broadcast from the microphone itself. We might be able to tap into their frequency and maybe prevent some of these kidnappings from happening in the first place. That would be even further evidence as well.
Hmm. You know, I had a...
Moreover,
Hmm.
moreover, if you bring me one of these bomb collars, I'll let you back in.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough with me.
That's another thing I'm afraid to have to tell you. I need to maintain appearances, and you did assault somebody out in the open in my plaza. So, effective upon your departure from the plaza, you are hereby forbidden from entering until you bring me that bomb collar.
Exile till proven otherwise. I understand.
That's correct.
Well, before I leave, then I might have a question for y'all, if you don't mind my asking.
Ask away.
That feller who ran that caravan business.
Deuce.
Deuce, yes. No, if he does have ties to the family, a caravan organization would be a great front for that. I'm thinking, guiding people to one way, then they just go missing. Hey, y'all ever heard any tell story about his company missing people?
It's difficult to pry too terribly heavily into the business of others when it's not warranted. People will get suspicious, paranoid.
That's fair. I mean,
although it did raise my initial suspicions.
Kind of putting a lot of trust in us, aren't you? I mean, if you're just gonna let us out and just kick us out, we could just leave and never come back.
That is true. But
she casts an eyeball back at her backpack and she's like, well, Phil's a bit of a goody two-shoes, so he's kind of on board with it to begin with, so...
Your suspicions must be quite heavy to let us leave.
Mm-hmm. Once we do get one of these bomb collars, what do? We just present it to the guard out front or something, or?
Talk to Daniel.
Talk to Daniel? All right.
Of course, if you don't have the bomb collar, he won't let you back in.
Oh, of course. I ain't gonna go ahead and ask him about the weather unless I got that bomb collar on.
That's probably wise. I'm sorry, one of you had another question? No?
I'm all out of questions there.
I had one.
Yes.
You mentioned earlier that there was troubles with deathclaws in the area.
Ah. Yes. Let me just open
hunters?
my other map here.
Let me just open the walkthrough.
They show up occasionally, though usually the town guard is well equipped and well trained enough to drive off any wayward deathclaws that try to enter. I've heard tell that they're from the St. Louis Zoo.
So that's where they nest.
Apex,
goes
so you
ba-
take-
A- Apex
Sorry, go
goes back to standing quietly.
Apex, you planning on taking on a death claw?
When you say that, like, his eyes actually kind of shoot over to you in this kind of like no kind of way.
No.
I mean, yeah, Vault 66 was kind of in a territory of that too, but we tended to go right back into the vault when they came around.
Wise.
I guess it's decided then. Westport's where we're going to go ahead and find that.
Is there any way you could covertly help us to find the evidence?
Any leads or
I'm-
anything like that?
The best I can give you is a place to start. Westport.
Mm.
Mm.
And that is where the enemy is.
Some
right.
of them. Not everybody is keen on the whole slave trade thing in Westport. There are some good people. Some are forced to accept it. With the family's influence, people over there are scared to death what they won't happen if they don't fall in line.
Well, not that it's much of a concern of mine, but my companions here do need to worry about things such as rest. Do you have any contacts in Westport that we might be able to hide away with while we're doing our work?
Contacts. You could
Just a
try Toby
place.
Blunt.
Toby Blunt?
He's the man on the
Radio
radio.
man.
Correct.
Oh, yeah, that radio fella.
He runs
And he
Westport
would
Radio.
on us favorably.
He might. He's as sick as anyone about the slave trade happening there. Although he can't quite do anything about it. Under the thumb of the family, he's forced to do things he rather wouldn't.
I understand.
It might be a place to start, although you may want to disguise yourselves before entering.
Cynthia's eyes go a little pink. Well, that'll be a little bit difficult, won't it?
Any leads on that for us at least? I mean, we're going into rich people territory. We can't exactly show up looking like this and not stick out like a sore thumb.
When you said disguise, Apex's eyes kind of lit up a little bit.
I'm sure you'll think of something.
I think so.
You have any more questions? Can't directly help you, I can at least give you information.
Will we get our equipment back?
Of course.
Fantastic. Thank y'all.
And that's all I have.
Mhm. All right, we definitely got our work cut out for us, but yeah, Westport's definitely our best bet there. And Toby Blunt being a contact would definitely help us out. All right, well, how about you, Louise, Cynthia? You got anything else? I'm all tapped out.
Just a lot of misgivings, but like I said, Phil's kind of gung-ho now, so
Suppose it'll be keeping us busy for a while. No questions come to mind. Thank you for your help, Niemann.
And if you are indeed genuine about this, thank you for yours.
Of
course.
Well,
No one should be put through that. What we'd seen in there.
He sort of taps his fingers on his desk. He looks down, looks up at you, Cynthia.
She looks at him. Do you have a question?
I'm just debating whether I should even suggest this. You might try looking in the city.
In the city?
There's
Which?
a group of people. They have some great deal of military training and equipment. They might be able to help you if perhaps disguises and infiltration isn't quite your forte.
Louise gets a particular look on her face. Wait, you mean Clayton?
No, St.
Oh.
Louis.
St. Louis.
Wait, St. Louis is... Sorry, I'm above game now. I'm trying to remember. Map. Go down. That was to the... Which direction was that even?
St. Louis was... I'll ping it for you.
Wrote this. East of Clayton. That was right. That's a ways away, ain't it?
Well, if it's just past Clayton, then suppose we could stop by, make for a bit of rest, and move on to St. Louis before we make our way to Westport. It'd be some time before we came back, but...
It might be tricky. I've heard they can be territorial.
What's the name of that group over there, St. Louis?
I believe they call themselves the Archers.
Archers. All right.
As their name suggests, they've crowded around the Gateway Arch. And if what I'm hearing is correct, they are good. They even managed to drive out the Brotherhood of Steel.
No fool?
Apex's eyes once again light up and look over. The Brotherhood was in St. Louis.
They were, until the Archers drove them out.
Huh. All right, now I'm interested.
What makes them so formidable?
I couldn't tell you. I wasn't there. I've only ever heard rumors. But it appears to be true. Anything I've heard from people coming in or out of the city say that the Brotherhood of Steel is no longer there. And this was maybe 5 or 6 years ago.
Well then.
Yeah, I guess that's it.
We should get
Archers,
moving.
though, around St. Louis. All right, the closer we'll get to the Arch, the closer we'll get some help. All right,
How
then.
do you know the Archers?
Like I said, I've heard rumors. Never had any direct dealings with them in the past, but if they're as good as I hear...
Interesting. Well, I guess we'll come across them sooner or later.
If you head into the city, there's no doubt about that. They pretty much
Very
control the entire city.
Well, that's for the best now. That means we'll easily be able to go ahead and find aid there.
Whether or not that's a good thing will remain to be seen, though.
Like I said, that's up to you. And it's just a suggestion. Don't get yourselves killed trying to convince them.
Well, I'd say our odds for survival aren't that high regardless.
Doesn't matter. I got more than one reason to want to go to St. Louis anyway. This just makes it more interesting.
Well, that's your business.
Louise does that grin she does. You have no idea.
Will that be all?
I believe so. Is there
Yep.
anything else you need to speak with us about, or?
No, I believe that's it.
Well then,
All
thank you
righty.
for your hospitality and dealing with this with grace. We are very appreciative.
I very much hope that you're right about all this.
At this point, we just hope we have enough evidence to help along y'all.
Well, good luck. Get out of my office and get out of my town.
Will
Absolutely.
do.
Apex walks out the door.
Have yourself a great afternoon now. Alvin will give him a nod and just double back out.
He sort of goes to like an old ham radio on his desk, and he hits a button.
Escort them out, please, Daniel.
Cynthia's eyes glow a bright blue, and she smiles and nods and turns to leave.
Louise gives him a little salute and says, "Till we get back with that evidence, just mind your skirts till then. Say bye, Phil." Turns and walks away.
He just blinks.
Phil says bye.
Blink.
I always imagine it's that Dexter Lab sound for the blink. Just bink, bink.
I like to imagine it's the SpongeBob sound.
Oh, God.
Oh my god.
One eyeball at a time.
Oh wow. What a choice.
Oh,
Ugh.
such a gross sound.
Yep. So, you all leave the office.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
As soon as you do, you are flanked on all corners by Frontenac guards, which, by the way, they are wearing khaki-colored armor with a black fleur-de-lis on one of the shoulder pads.
Ooh, very Saints Row.
And if there's nothing else, they will escort you from the town.
Apex is deep in thought.
Okay. They bring you to the edge of the plaza to where it's just barely in sight at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Did get his stuff back?
Yeah, you get all your stuff back.
Yay, my new
Hey.
shinies!
He drops sort of like a large duffel bag out on the ground, and it contains all your stuff.
There we
Apex
are.
keeps the duffel bag.
He just sort of grumbles.
I just want to imagine Apex being hugging it to his chest like, mine!
I'll
He
reset his-
he actually, like, once it's empty, once everybody takes their stuff, he rolls it up, wraps the straps around it, and then wraps the like those straps around his belt, so it's like just a little bundle behind his back.
He's got a little fanny pack!
Alvin will reset up his tool belt and set his power fist on either side for easy grabbing.
And
Just-
it's oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was finished. That was just a exhalation of breath.
Gotcha. And it's Daniel that's given us this back?
Yeah.
Okay. So as Cynthia is reholstering all of her guns and all of her knives back in their leg straps, she looks up at him and thank you again for helping how you have. Would have been much more complicated if you weren't there.
Yeah, well, try not to cause trouble in any more towns.
Do our best.
No trouble at all. I'll go ahead. We'll do our best. Try to find an intact bomb collar. Deactivated mine. We'll bring it back to y'all.
What?
You don't want an
Nothing.
activated bomb collar, do you? They can probably set those off anywhere you go.
What the hell are you talking about?
Don't worry about it.
Ask your employer.
Okay, I think I will.
Just slowly
Anywho.
starts to walk backwards.
Just like, I'm done.
Apex
Sorry
is
about
just-
that. I thought he let y'all in on the. I thought he let y'all in on the whole thing.
Apex
Cynthia
is just strapping his Deathclaw gauntlet on.
Cynthia
I'm gonna...
turns to everyone. Oh yeah, sorry, I thought he left.
No, he's in the process of walking backwards. He has his gun pointed at you guys, by the way. Just not at you, just
Got it.
in your direction, ready to aim it.
After
at one of
everything
you.
that just happened, that would have been a bad call.
Yes. Yeah. Cynthia will wait until he fully backs away, waves him off.
After he's a certain distance away from you, he turns on his heel and walks backwards.
Cynthia.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'm just gonna say he walks out of sight.
After it is obvious no one is within earshot, Cynthia turns to the rest of the group. I think from this point on, we can assume that no one is to be trusted, even if they seem trustworthy.
Yeah, no,
Slavers deal
that's
in
fair.
people, and they will rely on us trusting their subordinates.
They'll go ahead and flash y'all a nice smile before you know it. Boom, click. I get you.
I'll just keep in mind, I got a good ear for that sort of thing. And she legitimately taps one of her ruined ears.
Above game, I'm mentioning that one little thing that I can do because you know the lying thing. Yay!
Yeah,
Yeah,
stuff and abilities.
I'll try. I'm still gonna be as cordial as I can with people, but I get you.
All the talk of the bomb collars, family, we'll need to keep that to just Topi, if we can.
Oh, that's what y'all. Yeah, that's fair. You see, I told him because I thought he was already part of the. Well, you can
Well, that's
understand
just
how I
the
lived
thing.
with you.
We'll need to make it so that unless they were in that room with us, which was only missing Niemann, I don't think we should speak of it to anyone else without thoroughly understanding someone's motivations. You understand?
I do.
Apex stares with reverence and nods.
Look, guys, I probably should bring this up now, and I don't mind if we do it after St. Louis or before, but she kind of pats her backpack. I do need to make that one stop in Clayton at some point.
Well, I think there's no harm in making a pit stop before we go on to St. Louis.
No, it makes sense to me.
How far of a walk is it to Clayton from here?
That's a good question, actually.
Above game on our map, it's like right there, but I don't know what right there is in terms of distance.
Let me have a
It's-
little look-see here for you.
It's 2 grid marks away. Well, 3 technically for following the road.
Yes. Yes. It is.
Yeah.
Da-da-da-da. From here to here. You're on foot. It's a bit of a walk. I
What's the
would
weather like
say
today?
weather is. Let's have a little look-see. The weather is. Oh, it's coming.
Oh, that weather, it's a coming.
It is overcast. It is overcast at the moment.
Sky is buffering. Sky is buffering.
Oh man, it's the skybox from Gex
The-
64. Sweet.
The sky just turns into a pink and black checkerboard pattern.
Oh,
The
Oh,
clouds
God,
are
we're in the Truman Show.
the clouds
Truman Show,
are
too.
the clouds are big red letters that just say error.
oh my god.
Oh, see, I told you we're in the Super Adventure Box.
This really is a Bethesda game.
And there it is.
We're sorry, Bethesda. Please still hire us.
We did it.
Who has the kazoo sitting right there?
It's Rabbit.
It's me.
Oh, all right then.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You get
Yeah,
a
yeah.
pass.
From here to Clayton, it will probably be maybe a good 4-hour journey on foot, I'd say.
What time of the day is it?
It is, well, you guys just woke up and just had dinner. I'd say it's about, I'd say it's noon exactly.
Wow, you got a rest and a breakfast, and we're out by lunchtime? Sweet.
To be fair,
Wow.
depending where St. Louis is, I suppose it wouldn't be bad to make a stop at Clayton anyway.
Oh man, that's awesome. We got out just after the Price is Right.
We got out before the lunch rush.
Woohoo.
Ugh.
If we were allowed back in, we could go to the canyon.
Ooh,
Aw.
I love it.
It's true, but you're not.
Like cocktail little snackage. Whatever, I bet they're real nice in St. Louis about that.
Maybe.
Oh. Alrighty. Well, we got everything we all need. Let's get Clayton bound, y'all.
As we walk, Apex is kind of scribbling on a blank sheet of paper, glancing back and forth at you guys.
Louise gives him a quick eyeball and she's like, get my good side.
Apex nods.
She's like, oh, shut up, Phil. I do have one.
Alrighty, so you guys are hitting the road.
Do-do-do-do.
Making your way to
Getting the
Clayton.
road.
Yes.
Moving right along in
Okay.
search of ghoulies and death claws.
Indeed.
Long
Yeah.
You passed by sort of old blasted out remains of what looks to be maybe a small town. You pass under a bridge. Sort of looks like a small wooded area with a creek underneath it.
I'd be looking for anything useful as we walk through everything.
Go ahead
Suppose I would too.
and make me wits rolls.
Wit rolls.
The first
We
rolls of
haven't
the
rolled all
night.
game yet.
Here we
Well,
go.
By the way, has
Apex-
anyone noticed I finally got Louise's picture up?
Hen,
I
I
did.
did notice that.
I was like, wait, I know what that picture is. Yay!
8.
Oh, darn it. What's my wits again? Ah, okay. D2, D6 plus 2.
Apex will be keeping his eye out for trouble.
Or
so I'll
I
roll
have to
wits
do
too.
roll. Stupid. It is there.
Alrighty.
Apex got a 12.
Woo!
Looking out
Two.
for trouble.
Excellent.
11.
All right, great rolls.
Solid rolls.
Very solid. All of you succeed majorly, except for Cynthia, but that's no
Who
problem.
succeeds minorly.
Yeah. I was gonna say.
Yeah,
I
you
did
succeed.
okay.
You
In
succeed
lowercase.
majorly. Cynthia succeeds minor.
Okay.
But, what precisely would you be looking for, Louise?
Wait, are we at the bridge?
You're
And
Yeah,
then
Walking past
you're-
the
you're-
bombed
you're-
out town.
yeah, you're basically underneath a bridge right now. It's
Does this
under-
bridge look like anyone's been living under here, or some kind
Nah.
of hidey holes?
not really. It seems pretty abandoned. Stretch of road
we-
here.
Terribly close to that town, or are we just like?
You're a good hour away at this point.
Ugh. I don't want to walk an hour to the bombed out town unless anyone else wants to.
Well, I mean, you're in
Yeah.
the bombed out town right now.
Oh, okay. Well, what's are
It's-
any of these buildings still looking kind of intact or anything?
It's for the most part you see just like frames of buildings that look like they were completely abandoned.
Any
people.
cars? Any?
Well, there are always sort of like cars, abandoned cars on the.
Any of those cars
roads.
look interesting?
Let me
Any more presents in the glove boxes, maybe?
go ahead and see what I can do for you here, real quick. Oh, well, okay. This will be a bit of a thing for me here. Don't mind. Yoy. Oh,
Hmm.
really? Okay.
Is it good? Is it good? Is it good? Is
It
it good?
might
Is it
be.
good?
It might be.
Sniff, sniff.
All right.
Sniff, sniff.
As soon as my ears stop ringing, I'll tell you what you got.
You got tinnitus perks.
Yo!
What?
Kirby, what are you doing here?
What?
As a pink fluff ball comes out of the exhaustant. No.
He's my new battle companion. He sucks
Oh
up the
my
enemies.
god.
You pick
Yep.
up.
Phil.
You see in the the glove compartment of one of these blasted out cars. You see a manual called the Big Book of Science.
Ooh, big book of science. All right.
Whenever you make a smarts roll to interact with a piece of technology, you can use the Big Book of Science to re-roll once. After which the Big Book of Science will become useless.
And this is specifically for smarts more relating to tech
Smarts
stuff, you
roll-
said?
Smarts roll relating to tech stuff.
You must sacrifice the big book of science at the altar of technology.
Hmm.
Just that picture of Sonic holding up the ring, but it's Alvin with the book. Just oh.
That was a very good roll on my part.
Good job, Connor.
Way to go! Thanks, Die Hard Dice.
I'm sort of. Louise gives us a look, and she sort of eyeballs Alvin and says, "This might be more use to you than me."
What y'all find?
Big book of science looks like tech stuff to me.
Oh, no fun! Oh, what volume is that? Hold on. Alvin is now walking at a brisk pace towards you.
What volume is it, Connor? You're making him look.
I love it.
It's volume 5.
Volume 5.
Oh, that's a nice one. Here, let me go ahead and see that one. That's one about transistors. Is this for me?
She nods like, yeah, go ahead.
Oh, thanks. Oh, boy, howdy, I love these things.
I was a little torn between him or Cynthia. I'm not sure. I think Alvin. Is that right?
You decide.
Yeah, fair enough. Maybe you or Cynthia can do something with it.
Cynthia will eye the cover.
Either way, you have it. Meanwhile,
I'll let Alvin hang on to it. We can see who wants to use it for tech stuff later.
I will present it to Cynthia for perusing.
let's see here. Meanwhile, oh ho. Alvin, Cynthia, what were you two looking for?
Just anything that might be useful along the path or interesting.
Okay. In that case,
I am looking for anything.
Cynthia, you find. Oh.
Mm-hmm.
You find. You find. It appears to be an old military transport broken down, and you find an MRE.
Well, if anyone's particularly hungry, this'll do you right good.
Oh, they're rations?
Yep.
Mhm.
A meal
Meal
ready to
ready.
eat.
Ah.
Old military
What kind is
food. It appears to be the quote-unquote pepperoni pizza.
We are living in the future.
This is the apocalypse. Can't be
Well,
that bad if there's pizza.
I
Right
doubt very highly that any of you have had pepperoni pizza before, so we're gonna save this for a special occasion.
Oh, and what a special occasion it will be.
Wow.
As for
it
you,
tastes like
Alvin.
disappointment.
Oh yeah.
As for you, Alvin. You. Oh. Okay. You. Find. You find a leather belt.
Ooh.
It appears to be wholly intact. The leather is nice. The buckle is mostly clean. Could be some could be some prime working parts for any arts and crafts you might come up with.
I already wrote it down as a part as you explained it.
There you go.
Well, hey. Look at all this, y'all.
Meanwhile, at Apex,
I'm looking out for trouble. I rolled a 12.
I saw
And
that.
he found it.
I'm looking for trouble.
You're looking for trouble,
Floaters
Mr.
by the
Squidward. Oh.
You better start believing in trouble, Apex.
Are you just rolling really good every time, Connor?
I'm rolling some stuff, all right.
Sarah, no! Don't jinx it! No! That's how the death claws fall from the sky.
To be fair,
Sure
we rolled
enough.
really badly in Prince Division, so I think this is making up for it.
The Apex. As you're gazing around, you are very familiar with the sound coming up.
My ears twitch.
You had a lot of these back in your farmland. As you hear in the distance the buzz of get closer as this cacophonous buzzing begins to close in on the four of you. As Apex, you see 3 bloat flies coming towards you.
Ooh.
That
As everybody's scavenging, Apex will call out the positions of them. Bloat flies! Incoming!
That doesn't sound good at all. Why?
And you were ready for them. It will take them a round to get to you. Until then, even if you fail, you will be safe.
Alrighty.
All right. So what's the terrain that we're fighting in? I know we're in a bunch of bombed out houses.
Right. Ahead of you. Hang on. Choto mate. You have a couple of 2-story buildings surrounding you. You are in the middle of you're in the middle of a street with 4 buildings surrounding you, and the bloatflies all appear to be coming from the same direction. They're coming they're coming from the southwest.
I'm going to use my turn to basically find a better position and maybe look for something that can be used to our advantage to maybe split them up or weaken them.
Okay. Something to split them up or weaken them. All right.
Or something that can just, take care of multiple, multiple in one go. Or do you have a roll for that?
Well, I would have you roll. I guess if you're looking for something, I'd say roll wits, but we'll get to that in a minute.
Sure thing.
Who's up next?
Obi. I can do that.
What are you up? What are you up to? What you got?
I'm gonna take a knee behind some rubble and whip out the shotgun that I have on my shoulder. I'm gonna hook it, cock it, and when they get close enough to a shotgunning, I'm gonna go ahead and blast one out. I don't know what I roll for one of them. What do I roll for a shotgun? Is it wits or is it body?
You would roll body, but not quite
Body.
yet. Not quite yet.
Okay.
Who's up next?
I will go. Cynthia will just stand and turn and pull out one of the rifles and take aim and shoot.
All right, you're shooting at the bloatfly.
Yep.
Louise, what are you up to?
You said we got buildings around us and they're coming right down for us.
Mm-hmm. To your southeast. Or your southwest.
Is there a building nearby with a blasted out window?
Yes. There appears to be a sort of a small shopping center to your northwest.
I will go in there, get myself positioned by the window so I can aim my shotgun out of it. And as the same, if I'm close enough to take a shot now, I will. But if I'm not, I will wait until they get close enough to roll a shotgun blast at him.
Okay.
Kind of my
right.
cover / position.
So, starting from Apex, you're looking for something to maybe disrupt them. That's a 10.
Yes. Strategically
disrupt them.
Something to either strategically disrupt them or deal with multiple at the same.
Did you roll wits or smarts or something to add to that? I mean, you already rolled 10 anyway.
Oh, yeah. Apparently my plus didn't go through, so that would be a 12.
Ooh,
Perfect.
excellent. So, you would know that bloatflies explode when they die. And this explosion can harm the others as well. So you would know that it would actually be to your benefit to keep them all grouped together, and you sort of maneuver yourself, and they all appear to be... You sort of lead them and get their attention, and they will be in each other's radius if one of them explodes.
Focus the one in front.
So basically, yelling out for everybody to fire at the same one.
Mm-hmm. All right.
15
Alvin.
odds.
Roll body.
Roll body. Oh boy, here I go with my special move. As soon as I put the algorithm into the system. Here we go. Shabam! 8.
All right. As you do, you put your shot out. You wait for one to get close to the range of your shotgun, and then you let it go. Because Apex caught them early, you won't get affected by this. You absolutely just pellets fly through the one in the front. It goes down and it just explodes in this greenish white spray of gore and bug meat. And it is absolutely disgusting, and as it does, it appears to knock the other two bloatflies off balance, and they are just stunned in place now because of that. They weren't quite killed by the explosion, which I'm going to say is the result of it not being a perfect success, but it's something.
It is.
So the other two seem to be stunned now. Cynthia.
Time for a rifle blast.
Get him!
It's 2d6 plus body. Oh, I have not updated that. It should be +1. 5.
Oh.
Why?
That's all right.
Oopie.
Because Apex caught them coming early, nothing quite happens because of that, but you weren't quite expecting the explosion to knock them around, and they just barely managed to move out of the way of your bullet as it's in flight. But nothing to your detriment happens.
Damn.
Louise.
Okay, roll to shoot.
Fire.
7. Just got it.
I believe that is a success. So.
Yep.
Another one. As you what weapon are you using? Your shotgun?
Yeah.
So you raise up your shotgun and another spray of pellets fly into this thing, and it goes down as well. Boom! Another explosion from the bloatfly.
Roll in ricochet.
All right. That's roll strange, I believe.
Yes. Here we go. Yeah! It's gotta be plus 9, 10.
Excellent. So.
But I still succeeded. But is it okay?
Yeah. Through sheer luck, it might seem. Or maybe it's skill. No one can quite say for sure. But one of the pellets manages to wing the corner of a cinder block, and you hear a as a stray pellet manages to wing this last bloatfly right in the center of its forehead, and it goes down. Another spray of gore as it hits the floor.
Murder.
Just like the dead bee bodies in my basement.
Well done. The threat is neutralized.
Well shot.
Thanks.
Yo, marksman, Louise? Jeez, that was fun.
Just handy enough with a gun. She
I
grins.
heard that. All I know about blowflies is don't punch them. I learned that the hard way.
Oh no. That can't be good.
You said that ricochet was from the one gun shot I did? I just get to keep track of my ammo.
Yeah, you don't use your ammo when you use ricochet.
Alright, then I only used one shotgun shell. Yay!
You only used one and only. There's a joke that only some people will get.
I just flash back to Mentalk the Mind Taker.
Get it? One and only ricochet. Anyway. So, you have 3 exploded bloatfly corpses in the middle of this street.
Ew. Are they useful in any way?
Cheeks.
Damn it.
They're
Apex,
edible.
like being close enough to them, Apex would like wander up and see if there's any like usable bits of them, any nice chunks of meat that can be salvaged.
Yeah, go ahead and make a wits roll for this.
Nothing good for me. That's a 6.
Yep.
They
whatever-
are goo.
However, Louise managed to make that shot. These corpses are just torn apart. Unfortunately, you don't really get anything usable.
Are their wings usable? I guess they wouldn't be usable. I blew them
Not
apart.
really, no.
Nah, you definitely Quentin Tarantino'd some bloat flies.
Louise kind of nods to Apex. Sorry about that, but she doesn't look that sorry, so she's still feeling pretty good about that. She's like,
No problem. It's better that they are dead.
Phil, if he still had eyes, would probably be rolling them at her.
It's true.
Shall we continue?
Yeah, you don't hear any of the other any more of them on the wind, do you?
Do I?
You don't.
That's a 9.
You don't.
I do not.
No.
Bloatflies tend to travel in small groups, so you figure that these are all of them, at least for this group.
They tend to travel in small swarms.
Oh, well. Good for us then. Yeah, no, I'm fine. Let's get on going.
All right. You continue on down the road. You see more of these sort of what used to be small businesses lining the sides of this road. All of them looking pretty well blasted out, pretty ruined. The apocalypse was not kind to this section of Missouri.
The apocalypse wasn't kind.
Indeed. You continue to walk along. And I continue to hit back on my stuff.
Like you do.
You travel even further down the road.
Apex continues glancing and sketching. Now that there's
the buildings on the side of the road start to become less and less as you start to pass by some of these, what looked to be the ones that are intact anyway, some pretty nice houses. Old,
but occupied?
Sort of, they don't appear to be. You can make a wits roll.
I would love to. If they're starting to look nicer, they might be stiff. Oh, wait.
Apex would be looking for eyes as usual.
A 9.
11.
Damn, you are good at that.
Since the building
Apex doesn't like getting hunted.
Fair enough. That is fair.
He is the hunter, not the
Nobody puts
huntee.
baby in a corner.
Since the buildings are looking a little nicer or whatnot, Alvin's gonna keep an eye open just in case there's a nice piece of scrap or something that looks usable.
Anybody else
Roll
do
it,
anything?
baby.
Let me roll wits, baby. 9.
Oh, you did so good, baby.
Oh,
Salad.
thank you. Thank you. You had my back the entire time.
Okay.
So proud of you.
Oh, thank you.
Louise, was that 9 your roll for?
Yes.
Okay. Let me go ahead and look for you here real quick. Hugh find. Okay. Oh. You find, yes.
Ooh.
You find what appeared to be in one of these old blasted out houses shit, I threw that dice right in the trash.
Oh no!
I'm sorry, Die Hard
No,
dice.
enough of you.
Be gone!
Have at you!
Yeah, you find what looks to be a recently stocked pantry, and you find 2 cram.
Ooh.
Oh, the spam
Ooh.
thingy. It's crap, right?
Yep.
Crab ham.
Crab ham.
You find
Hands
the
of cram.
You get the crab ham. You got 2 more tins of cram.
You mess with the crab ham, you get the crab hands.
Recently stocked, though. I feel bad. This might be someone's cram.
And if you were looking for stuff you can use, Alvin, I'll go ahead and see what I can do for you.
Oh, thank you, Jay.
Ooh, you find some turpentine.
Ooh, yeah, that has a lot of uses.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
Appears to be about half a can.
All right, I found some
it's-
turpentine. Someone else
Dang,
found 2
dang.
crams.
It is a flammable liquid distilled from pine resin, used often as a solvent.
Mm-hmm. You solve it. You can use it to road goopy stuff. You can.
You could
Well, the apocalypse use it for fire.
you could probably make something fairly dangerous with this.
Hell yeah, you can.
Molotov cocktails, baby.
Meanwhile,
A turpentine cocktail.
let's see
That
what.
does not sound. That does not sound potable.
Maybe not to you,
Okay.
Smooth Skin. Just kidding,
Oh,
I
hey,
don't
boss man,
exist.
how you doing?
Just kidding,
Oh
I
no,
don't
boss
exist.
man.
I'm gone. Goodbye. Remember who you are, Alvin.
Oh my god. Wow.
Apex, you. Okay. You. Fine.
Apex duck.
Oh, jeez. I'm rolling so many dice tonight. This is fun. Oh, boy. Which one of these is a D10? There it is. Ooh. You find another... This seems to be a pretty common sight here. An attacked liquor store.
Oh my god.
Apex wanders out with a brown bag full of various liquor.
Go for it. Yeah,
Wait.
I'll say, due to that roll, you found, let's see, food. Oh no, we're going to drinks. Drinks. There you go. I'd say you found some. Ah, jeez. Well, I'll be. You found some sunset sarsaparilla?
Oh my.
Ooh.
That must be an import. You also find some scotch.
How much of the bottle?
It is completely full.
Oh.
Damn.
Can I roll scavenger?
Sure. What are you looking for?
I haven't rolled scavenger all day. This might be a good place to try it.
Yes. Roll the scavenger.
Apex is beginning to worry about Louise.
I don't have a problem. Just like good whiskey.
Uh-huh.
It's
Give me
only
that
it's only a problem when I stop.
Rolling 10!
Damn.
10. All right. What are you looking for?
It's a liquor store, right?
Mm-hmm.
What do they usually stock?
Liquor.
Okay, listen, you. So to be fair, if I can't find a really good liquor, I also wouldn't mind if I could find, because sometimes liquor stores be packing, right?
What, like guns?
Attacking like,
No liquor store owners.
yeah, I mean,
Fair enough.
Especially in the apocalypse.
Fair enough. There are more than a few occasions where a place like that might get robbed, so they have to have something on hand. So you're looking
Barring that,
for
though, I'll take a really good bottle of liquor if they don't have that.
So you're looking for a gun. Let's see what I can
Maybe
do
an
for you.
implement of some sort.
Well, you
I have plenty of whiskey, to be fair. Look, let's be fair. Yes, I have a lot of whiskey on me at the moment. I have lots of alcohol on me. Either or, I'll go with
you're
whatever.
like, you're like the reverse Cynthia. Cynthia, tons of guns. Louise opens up her jacket, tons of bottles.
What are you buying?
Oh my god. Everything.
sure enough, you find
Give me a gun that shoots liquor.
you find the liquor gun. No, you do find a old shotgun. Appears to be pump action.
Is
Ooh.
that better than my caravan shotgun?
About the same, but you could
All right.
probably reload it faster.
This one reloads faster.
Babe?
All right, hang on. I shall add that to my proper inventory as opposed to my other inventory.
We'll get you some stats for that soon.
Pump. Well, yeah, as long as I have the basic thing.
Babe?
Louise finds
Shotgun. 4 damage, I assume, if it's about the same.
Damage
I'll leave
isn't
it there
really a
for now.
factor, but yes.
Louise finds a gun that shoots liquor, and I smugly look at Cynthia and go, and you all said that the Wild Wasteland perk wasn't worth it.
Ah, yes. the VOD cannon.
All right. Good. She'll sling that back. Be like, just be like, nice.
Other than that, though, doesn't seem to be any trouble lurking around.
She does look a little bit jealously at Apex's little finds, though. It's like utility-wise, the shotgun's better, but she's sort of like,
As you
Apex waves.
She's just like, just grumbles under her breath. Bet he's too young to be drinking anyway.
As you make your way down the road further and further, you start to see even more of those rather nice buildings. Destroyed as this area may be, the architecture around here does indicate perhaps maybe this was once a fine place to live, but now as it stands, you walk by the blasted out neighborhoods of the populated yet run down remains of Clayton.
Oh, so we're properly in Clayton now.
Yes, you are properly in Clayton now.
All right.
You aren't greeted at the entrance. You see all of these, what appears to be some sort of European architecture to some of these buildings. But you wouldn't know that. This is just for you as the players to know what sort of area you're getting into. Lots of trees on the road, lots of rather fancy 2-story buildings. Looked like it was once an expensive neighborhood to live in. And as you make your way into Clayton proper, that's where we're going to go ahead and take a break.
All right, awesome.
Hey.
Use the old bathroom here.
Yeah, me too.
Myself a beverage.
I'm going to the bathroom.
Hello, chat. And also
I accidentally unplugged my headphones.
Uh-oh.
myself in the background of Nick
Hi.
plays. And now he has headphones back in. There we go.
All right, I'll be right back.
All right.
Hi.
How's it going, everybody?
Hello.
Are you enjoying the stream so far?
Boyo.
Boy,
Dee bee bee bee. Bee doo dee. Quote to the yo, bro. Queen Poyo? Is that who I am now? Can we get a Poyo in chat?
Where all the Poyo is at?
Where my Poyo's at?
Where's my Poyo?
All this talk of liquor has me in the mood for a responsible adult beverage like water so that you're hydrated. That's a great choice. Yes, Sarah does turn into a chibi version when she says Poyo. It's true. I've been there.
Responsible adult beverage.
Yes. My responsible adult beverage was tea, and now it's water. Because I ran out of tea. Connor, are you going to be here for a moment?
I might be.
All right. I'm going to go to the restroom, and I'll be right back.
Egg salad.
Egg
I'm trying to figure out
salad.
what my characters would do in these situations. If that's what you're asking. Probably
keep
be
walking.
hungry and thirsty.
I keep walking past my bed, and I keep flopping on it for like 30 seconds, going, "Oh, I'm gonna sleep the fuck on you." Oh my god, my new bed, it's so fucking cozy. Oh my god.
Everybody's getting new beds lately. Monty got a new bed. I'm thinking about getting a new bed.
I was kind of inspired from Monty. Also, I sat on my old mattress. You know the one that was crushed in a little bit.
Yeah.
A spring shot out of it and almost shot right through my. So it gashed my inner leg, and I went,
Well, that's gonna stop.
Yeah. So I got all that. I got a purple bed with some pillows on that and whatnot, cause the dude was showing me around, and he was like, "Try out this bed." And I flopped on it, and I immediately melted and went, "Ha!"
Mhm.
And I was just like, "It's really expensive, though." He goes, "Well, let me see if someone is foolish enough to return one of these." And I was like, "Okay." And then like 5 minutes later, he was doing it as a courtesy, but then he went, "Oh shit, someone actually returned one. You wanted a 2?" I'm like, "Yeah." He goes, "Yeah, they returned a purple 2. Do you want that?" And I went, yes.
Well, hot damn.
Yeah, so I lucked out. I was. It's funny because I was originally going in there to just go ahead and just grab a new bed frame, and I walked out with all that shit. Oh my god. I hope my takeaway is that I will become zen as fuck. Like, I am loud and abrasive now. Next gateway, I'm gonna sound like Bob Ross, like, "Hello, y'all. It's so nice to see you."
We're gonna have ourselves a fun little stream here.
Yeah, my entire streaming like ethos is completely changed. We're gonna have ourselves a nice, even-tempered, very calm playthrough.
Who the fuck are you and what have you done to my friend?
Oh no! You just go ahead and kick open the purple building like, "What did you do to my friend? What did you do?"
I'm back. I got
I
a
swear
freeze
to
pop.
Ooh. All right, I'll
Oh,
go ahead and take my leave briefly here then. Say psych right fucking now. Oh, my back. Oh, my aching back.
Been carrying us all night.
Oh man. But nobody carries the Apex. The Apex carries alone.
The Apex carries himself.
Ooh, that's bold words. Could you imagine Apex as a life coach? I can. It makes me laugh every time.
I don't know. I feel like my job. I feel like I'm trapped in my dead end job.
You were a dog barking for the will of his master.
I guess.
Set yourself free. You can be better.
Thank you.
And he just vanishes into the shadows.
No, he walks into a shadowy corner.
Just stands there.
He just stands in the corner. You can see the glint. You can see the glint of his eyes, just slightly, as he stares at you.
Time is up. You can go now.
Next, please. I imagine some guy like nervously typing on a Robco terminal, and there's just Apex in the back, just gazing at him.
My 5 o'clock will be here in 5 minutes.
Slay your oppressors. Okay. Somebody asks, how old is Apex again? Or have you never said?
I have not said yet.
You have not said.
It's not entirely pertinent. I'd say somewhere in his mid to late 20s.
I think that's around the same. I think that's around the same
Ayo.
age as Alvin.
Welcome back, Kaylin.
Hey,
Hello.
what's poppin', Kaylin?
Oh, you know. I was looking for a snack, but then I was like, it's gonna take too long to get the snack I want.
I got myself a Freezy Pop.
Ooh.
What what kind of snack were you thinking about getting?
Some sort of like a boiled egg or something.
Oh
That's-
yeah,
Boiled egg.
I can't. You know what? That reminds me. There are chickens across my street.
I saw that picture just a minute ago.
Yeah, I live in like the historical high part of the city, so I'm like, where the
Oh.
hell did these chickens come from? Like,
I mean, chickens.
Chickens do what they're gonna do.
yeah, and I was just like, oh, okay, I guess I have chickens now. And like, I showed my mom, and my mom was like, oh, you got chickens, you should get their eggs. And I went, I'm not going across the street to mystery chickens under a pine tree. Like,
Why not?
you know what? That's a great question.
Rabbit.
Because you're like the seventh. You were like the seventh person to go. Why not? At this point, you're right. I should. I really should.
Honor.
I mean,
Oh
it's
my
either,
God,
either
Rabbit.
you're going to do it or the feral cats are going to do it. So
No,
mean-
I can't let 2x2 Tone go ahead and grab my egg. That egg is slated for
Mhm.
me.
Rabbit, would you say we are in trying times?
As I wave my hand outside, yes.
then grab an egg for
So
these
then
trying
get an
times.
egg.
Yeah.
That was
I
the
would.
universe going, you know what? You're in a trying time. Would you like chickens to give you eggs in this trying time?
Wait a minute. This took me a while to realize it was a
Yeah.
Always Sunny reference.
There we go.
Damn you all. Damn it. All right. You jerks.
I know. I'm fine with it.
Nah, y'all good eggs.
You've heard the egg song, right?
No, I haven't.
Wiggle jiggle, yellow middle. That's the best of what you are. I love you, egg. Round and tender. It's around the center. Dun,
No.
dun, 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 dun. I love you. The egg song. Let's see if I'm allowed to post links in the chat.
Good luck.
I love you. I love you. Really, really love you so. Am I allowed? Oh my god, I'm allowed. And it's the
I'm
Nerd Mom
back.
page. Whoops.
Hey, welcome back, Connor.
How's it going, everybody?
It ain't too bad. I just keep looking at my bed. Like, I'm gazing at, like, I'm gonna sleep on you so
I'm gonna
well.
sleep the fuck out of you.
I'm gonna sleep the fuck out of this bed.
Oh yeah, it's not even gonna know how slept on it is.
Just
Not
very
until it's
aggressive.
too late.
Just aggressively snoring. Just.
I'm gonna read out some bits.
All right.
Probably not a mayor. Thank you for gifting 3 subs to the community.
Yo. What's up, man?
Oh.
How's it going, Amer? Wait, he's probably not Amer.
But that leaves the possibility open that he could be.
Just probably not. Chaos
Yeah.
War Priest, thank you for the 6 months. Hey guys, just got off of my session, and good news, we got to level 2. Bad news, a party member died for good. So there's that. Also,
No.
I've been playing Outriders a lot lately, and I've been having a blast with it. Ooh.
Rest
What are you
in,
doing it, dude?
rest in peace, dead D&D character, Mr. Poopy Pants. I'll miss you.
Probably not a mayor. Thank you for gifting another tier 1 sub to the community. John 230, thank you for the 3 months. Akazar, thank you for the 10 months. Blinking sounds. Zenlita, thank you for the 200 bits. Connor drops his dice in the trash. Diana at Die Hard Dice HQ over an earpiece. Take the shot.
Oh my god.
This goes against contract.
I'm getting assassinated by the dice police.
Don't do
Die
it.
Hard assassinations.
And I deserve it.
Use the
Look,
use the code Greckle to save 10% off your next assassination.
They'll just use they'll just use a wrist rocket and the Die Hard dice. That's all they need, just to prove a point.
It's true. A D4 flies through my head like that one scene in X-Men.
I haven't had a wrist rocket in so long. Oh man, those are the days.
Sorry, I'm eating a sandwich.
Oh, that's fair. What kind of
Rude.
sandwich you got?
PB&J.
Tell me about it.
Ooh,
Nice.
that sounds great.
Oh, good.
All-time
Armageddon.
classic Sammy.
Armageddon 1010-987. Thank you for the 245 bits. Watch while they're exploring. They get caught in the fight between Sephiroth and Death Cloud. They can obtain the Buster Claw. Excellent.
It just looks like Apex's like Deathclaw gauntlet, but the claws are really, really big.
Yeah,
Really long.
It's
What did
bigger
I
than
miss?
him.
That would be the Clossamoon.
I see.
Awesome move. Looks like some Edward Scissorhands stuff.
Akazar, thank you for the 7 months. Or for the 500 bits. This is the cuteness police. Sarah, stop being too cute.
Who said this?
Akazar.
Oh, okay. No. No, I don't. I can't help
Okay,
it.
No.
This is the
It's
cuteness
not
police.
cute. It's not cuteness. It's just a thing.
I'm not
Who's the
going
monkey?
back to prison.
Who's a monkey thinker of the 100 bits? Rabbit wanted an Ultra Fucker 3000 for himself. Ah, yes.
Really?
Really? It sounds like an afternoon.
That's what
Afternoon.
That's
Let's be
what I-
more
and-
ambitious.
That's what I
Afternoon,
nick.
and maybe an evening later after you recharge a little.
Well, it is a
You
bed.
know, you gotta get some orange juice, and you gotta get some orange juice.
Sips tea.
Some good, a high protein meal, high energy.
The Ultra Fucker 3000 is what I nicknamed Monty's new bed.
Oh my god.
Sniper Wolf, thank you for the 300 bits. Love the game. Sad I was late to the stream, so I'll have to watch the beginning of this episode in the VODs. Here are some bits. Hey. Magic Ninja Go, thank you for the combined 300 bits. So my orange tabby tiger was being a bully just now. And he was trying to get to my other cat, Lily, off his spot on the couch that she was laying on. She usually sleeps at when I'm sleeping there. However, I managed to come over and stop him. But I turn around and he goes back to it. So I go back to trying to stop him, to try to distract him by trying to play with him and one of his favorite toys, toilet paper rolls. And it was working until I had to check on my dog. And the moment I went out of the room, Tiger went off and attacked and kicked Lily off of that spot on the couch, a spot that she doesn't lay in often. I know this because once I was in the other room, I heard Lily shouting at Tiger. Oh, it's Tigger.
Such a cat.
I see. Yeah. The Friendly Grim, thank you for the 300 bits. Wish I could sleep, but I'm already 6 feet under. Oh.
Oh no.
Where? King I think with 200 bits. Did you know that Die Hard Dice has a collapsible dice tower that fits in a Die Hard Dice dice tray? A short, angry red gecko pointed a bow at me until I found out. It's true.
Why do you look like you're from Ren and Stimpy?
And Magic Ninja Go, thank you for the 100 additional bits. All right. I think we're ready to
All right.
get back into it.
All right, let me close my window again real quick.
Whoop.
Just kind of letting some fresh air in.
I'm going to finish my sandwich.
God, peanut butter and jelly sandwich sounds like. But what kind of jelly though?
I am ret to go.
Raspberry.
Ah,
Raspberry jelly, huh?
Mm-hmm.
it's a good one.
That's my favorite fruit.
It'll do. It's all we got.
Morello
Raspberries
cherry jam
and-
or
and
preserves
blackberries.
rather is my fave.
Raspberries and blackberries for me.
Good choices, definitely. I had these little they were called, oh my gosh, what are they called? Snow cubes? Coconut snow cubes.
No cubes.
And it's like little squares of coconut pudding kind of stuff.
Oh,
And
that
then
sounds-
it's like rolled in little coconut bits.
yeah.
Nummy.
They're really tasty.
Yeah, that sounds rad.
Oh, here we go.
Ah, here it is.
So, as we kick back into gear here, you are now in the town of Clayton. Turn this down slightly. There we go.
So is
What,
there
what is the what is the indicator that we have entered the town proper and not just walking through more bombed out nice-ish houses?
You see a road sign, actually, off of Clayton Road, which you were following. The basically told you that Clayton was up ahead, and you did the math in your head.
So is this just a residential looking neighborhood, or?
Yeah, it looks like there's all sorts of like fancy brick houses to your left and to your right. All of them look like they were expensive at one point or another.
Anything that looks like a bar or a gathering place, or?
Not immediately around you. You just appear to be in sort of a residential district at the current moment.
Anyone around?
Yeah, there are a couple people around. But they're eyeing you warily, and they seem to be keeping their distance for the most part.
Fair enough. Any other street signs?
Make a wits check.
All of us, sir.
Whoever
I
wants to.
assume all of us could if I want. Don't need to. I got a 12.
Dang it, I got an 11.
Egg salad.
Good too.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, you do. You see a couple of street signs. It looks like to your north is Westwood Drive, and a little bit further to your west is Cromwell Drive. And this appears to be just a big, as far as you can see, big residential district. It all kind of seems like it was boxed in to like its own little isolated thing. Lots of houses here, and they are populated.
Does anyone look like, I don't know. I don't want to like go to someone and have them just run off. Does anybody look like they might be not as freaked out by us?
That's reassuring. Thank you.
Make another.
Oh yeah, no, I feel friendly.
I'll
maybe
I'll
that
just
could be Cynthia's.
sure. Yeah. It seems to they're out in the wastes. Seeing new faces is a bit of a scary proposition because you can never tell what someone is up to. These people just seem like they're wary, is all.
Cynthia purposefully keeps her head down so that no one deals with her glowing eyes.
I guess I will approach the closest person I see.
Okay. You walk up to what appears to be a rather nice sort of European style architectured house. Looks to be about 2 stories with brown bricks. And there's a man sitting on a chair on a front porch. He's got largely unkempt brown hair. He's wearing dark clothes, look pretty well worn. He just looks up at you. What can I do for you?
Hey, I'm looking for a Thompson, if you happen to know where I could find him.
He eyes you briefly. Why?
Need to discuss a few things with them. I'm trying to make it clear that this is not, I'm not trying to be threatening. This is like Louise not trying to be weird. This is not something she's looking forward to.
Yeah, she's here, but she doesn't really see much people anymore.
Yeah. Do you know where I could find her?
Yeah. Her house is just up here, off of Buckingham Drive. And he sort of thrusts a thumb back up to the north.
All right. Thanks very much, Mr.
Dirk.
Dirk. All right. Thanks very much, sir.
Mm-hmm.
I will head off in that direction.
Okay. Are the rest of you following?
Yep.
Yeah. Upon noticing that Louise is wandering away after talking to that guy, wordlessly, look back and forth at everybody else and shrug and follow.
Yeah, let's go ahead and keep her company.
Yep.
While we're walking,
Cynthia's specifically trying to be a bit more butt-ish.
We also need to keep our eye out for Hagen, Palmer's daughter, while we're here.
Absolutely.
Oh, I raise my head at that and turn back to that guy. Hey, sir? Step back up again. By the by, sorry. We're also... Do you know if there's been a young girl who might be recently new to your town? Goes by the name, above game. What was her name?
Hagen.
I'm trying to find
Hagen.
it. Hagen.
Well, I thought her father's name was Hagen.
Her father's name was Palmer.
Right, okay. Goes by the name Hagen.
Hagen.
Yeah.
He seems to like chew his own gum slightly, or chew the side of his cheek slightly. It's sort of weird looking tattoos in her face.
That sounds about right. Her dad's wondering where she is.
Well, she was here, but
Took off?
I guess she didn't really tell anybody she was. She didn't really tell anybody she was leaving. She just sort of
So just-
disappeared one day.
Here one day, gone the next.
You ask me. I think the family took her.
Shit.
Just
The
grabbed her in
family's
the
been
middle
around
of the night.
here.
Been around. They keep coming through. Snatching up our people and selling them off in that slave auction they got running in Westport.
Cynthia's eyes glow orange.
Damn it. All right.
Then again,
thanks.
that's just my opinion. Why do you know
How
her?
do you? Well, as I said, her dad's looking for her. How do you spot those guys coming? By the way, is there a way to?
Most of the time, you don't. They
Just gotta-
usually come at night, though.
Right, makes sense.
Just word of advice, lady. Don't
Yeah.
go around here alone.
I look at the other three. I am rarely alone these days, and of course, she gestures to her backpack. I'm good on that score, thanks.
Mm-hmm.
And she heads off down the back where she said Thompson lived.
Yes. So you walk up this sort of long stretch of street on Westwoods Drive. You pass by a couple of other streets that lead into even more residential of this huge residential district. You turn onto, did I tell you Oxford?
Buckingham, I think.
Yeah, that was it.
Buckingham.
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 Hunter, no!
Oh,
We only get one of those.
Connor, don't do it!
And
Ladies and gentlemen, we apologize. Those have been responsible have been sacked.
it's true. You see this sort of almost cottagey looking house with a red tiled roof. Appears to be elevated slightly off the ground. There is what used to be a tree out in front. And you believe this is the place?
Louise takes sort of a deep breath and walks up and knocks on the door.
Before you do,
Do you want us to wait out here?
Maybe hold back just for now. I never met the lady. I have no clue what she's like.
Apex nods and then walks into some bushes.
Is the Homer Simpson move? Just
I'm gone.
just be like, what the shh, hiding. It's like, okay.
I was never
Cynthia.
here.
just stands by the door and like looks at Louise with concern and just sort of like waits. Like, I'll keep guard out here.
Louise just kind of gives her a sort of shrug and a oddly neutral sort of smile for her and
Mhm.
gives a knock.
Alvin gives a thumbs up and stays opposite of Cynthia.
Okay. As you walk up, you knock on the door. You hear slight shuffling. You wait a beat and then you hear from behind the door. What do you want?
Mrs. Thompson?
She narrows her eyes. Yeah?
My name's Louise. I'm from Vault 66. I worked with your son, Phil.
Phil. Louise? You said your name was?
Yes, ma'am.
She pauses for a moment. She sort of stammers, but doesn't really say anything. You went to the vault with my Phil?
I'm from Vault 66, where he came to help us work.
No.
He was
No. The other vault. The one you were meant to go to explore, right? The man, he told me you were all dead.
What man?
What was his name? Barney? Barry?
Barry?
Yes.
Barry was here.
He told me you were dead.
Okay.
How do I know you're
Louise
telling the
has
truth?
Louise has to visibly sort of, her arms start shaking. She visibly has to stop it and just take a breather for a second or two. Sorry, ma'am. We need to talk. Could I come in, please?
How do I know you're telling the truth?
God, I really don't want to use that method. Ma'am, is there any way you would take my word for it?
Make a charm check.
It's my worst roll. Oh, God, here we go.
Anything could happen.
And it's a -1, that is a 7. So, actually, it's a success.
She sort of looks past you. Well, you can't really tell. You haven't seen her yet. She pauses for another moment. Is there anyone with you?
Picked up a couple friends on the way. If you'd rather, they could stay outside.
Just you.
I look to the others. Do you guys mind?
By all means.
Cynthia shakes her head.
Apex's eyes glisten from the bushes.
All right. Hang tight, guys. All right, ma'am, just me.
Okay. You hear latches unlocking, and slowly creaking open, you are met with the barrel of a shotgun as the shaky hands of an older than middle-aged blonde woman who appears to have more silver than blonde in her hair now. She looks angry. There are tears in her eyes as she shakily holds the shotgun in your direction, not really pointed at you, but she seems to be pretty wary, and you are met with the visage of Miriam Thompson.
I sort of keep my hands up, but I very slowly, not to be threateningly, pull out that bottle of vodka and ask her, "Did you partake?" This could be a intense conversation.
And now more than usual.
Right.
Suppose I'll take that as a peace offering then. Sit down, I guess.
Yep. I will go in, give them a nod, and sort of close the door behind me.
She watches you warily. She looks out back of the door and she closes the locks. Before this happens, is there anything anybody outside wants to do?
Apex is going to kind of be keeping his eye. This area that we're in is a residential area, right?
Right, yeah, there are houses around you.
All right. I might be keeping my eye out for passersby that have cool full face masks or goggles or things like that on for a little project that he has tinkering around in his head.
Okay.
You said, is this like a stairs going up to a porch?
Not really. There's like a walkway, like a street walkway, and then there's a proper walkway to the house. It's surrounded by what used to probably be shrubbery, but now it's just wiry old branches. Looks like it might have been nice once.
Alvin's gonna go ahead and just lean on the side of the house, just kind of relax a little bit, and then just pull out that big book of science. Not using it, just perusing the pages.
Okay. And what about Cynthia?
Jalen?
Jalen,
Caitlin.
where'd you go?
Oh my god, I was
No.
muted the whole time.
Ah!
My chair squeaks a lot, so I was trying not to make any sound. I was like, oh.
She lives.
Yeah, I've been drinking
She's-
from a bottle of water so often, and I'm like, I hope this doesn't pick up on my microphone.
I know. No, she's ever since she heard about the archers, she's just kind of like she's very lost in thought on that. So she's roboting on purpose because she doesn't want people to question her her human choices. Niemann kind of shook her a little bit.
Fair enough. Ready then? Apex, go ahead and roll wits.
Sure thing. 8.
This being sort of the place where people live, there really isn't much warrant to be wearing any sort of masks around. You don't quite catch anything. There's a dude walking by with a cool hat and goggles combo, though.
Ooh.
He seems like he's got a lot going for him. He's got a hat and goggles.
The world's his oyster.
Apex's whole body sinks into the bushes and he tracks this man.
Okay. Yeah. He sort of stops briefly, looks from side to side, and then shrugs.
Apex, he would appear from the bushes at about that point.
I didn't notice that sign had bullhorn sticking out of it.
He's none the wiser, and he just goes about his day. Meanwhile, inside.
Got any glasses?
She sort of walks over to her kitchen and grabs a couple of highball glasses. And she slides one to you and sets one down for herself. Pour.
Louise uncaps that bottle and just pours out a nice liberal amount between both glasses. Takes a nice big drink of hers.
She
What did
does.
he-
She does the same.
What did he tell you?
He told me that he was on a job that went wrong with my poor Philip and another woman. I'm supposing that was you. He said
Yeah.
something went wrong inside that vault. Something about the door.
Oh,
Both
yeah.
of you were trapped.
Yeah.
My Philip, is he really?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, he is. And a lot of that is on me.
She is not quite as shaken as you would have thought, but she sort of just shrinks at that, and she blinks tears out of her eyes. Oh, God.
It was... we got we got Phil onto our group back in Vault 66, and I got worried for that kid. Just seemed like such a good kid, and this world is so shit, and fuck, he was so smart. He took to it like fucking duck to water.
He was.
I couldn't believe how good he got. You know, and we were supposed to, I don't know how much you know about our particular vault. It's, we kind of spilled out of it population-wise, so we live a little bit around the surrounding area, but it's not a good area, you know, death claws and stuff, and we like to
Only what
retreat
I've
back
heard.
into the vault. Sorry?
Only what I've heard.
Yeah. And, you know, we kind of use the vault as a bunker when things get bad, but lately the door's been having issues, and if we can't get that door closed, we're fucked, right? So they sent me and Barry and Phil out to get a new part to fix it. And that's why we went to Vault 85. And it was standard, you know. At first, it was like it always goes. We got in, we were checking things out. There's a real mess in there, actually. There's a lot of dead bodies in there. And I went off on my own to go check a little further in, and I heard a shot, and I ran back, and Phil had taken one in the leg, and fucking Barry was at the door with all of our shit, and pretty much all of our supplies, and tried to get him, but I point to my ear, the one that hasn't taken the most recent fuck up from when we were in the arena. I point at basically the chunk missing from it. He took the part out of the door, and once that part was out, door fucking closed on us. I did my best. I bandaged up that wound best I could, but I'm no doctor, and he didn't last too long.
Oh my god.
That vault is a fucking piece of work. It's fucking puzzles, if you can believe it. You gotta solve puzzles to get through the fucking doors, and it took me a fucking while, and I finally managed to find the one that I found another way out. I found a way outside that they kept hidden from the residents that only the overseer knew about, apparently. And the thing is, I didn't want to leave him there, but I couldn't take all of him with me, so I had to leave some stuff behind to get all of him. I finally point to my backpack. What's left of him is in there. I've been taking him with me ever since.
Her eyes go wide.
Told myself I wanted to get him back to his mom. Talked about you all the time. Just thought you were the fucking best, the thing in the world he'd ever had. I had to get him back home.
What did he say?
Sorry?
What did he say?
He said he couldn't believe in the way that the world was, that he got what he considered to be just one of the best moms ever.
Yeah.
He's so proud of you.
You would
How
say
good you
something
were.
like that. Oh my god, my Phil. She
Fucking
sort
good
of
kid.
reaches out for the bag. May I?
Yeah, here you go.
She shakily reaches out, grabs the bag, and just clutches it to her chest. Oh, Phil. You were too good for this world, baby.
Ma'am, if it's all right, I fucking shouldn't have left him with Barry. I shouldn't have fucking... Ugh.
It wasn't your fault, dear. You said your name was Louise. Please don't blame yourself.
I should have known, though. You keep thinking to myself, Barry was the kind of guy you kept thinking, he's gonna shape up. He's gonna finally live up to his potential, you know, and all that time you wasted fucking watching his fucking goddamn back, fucking cleaning up his stupid fucking messes. He's fucking gonna fix it. Turns out he was showing me who he fucking was the whole goddamn time, and I was just too stupid to see it. Anyway, I just sort of always felt like I wanted to watch Phil's back, you know, because he was a good kid, but he was sometimes felt like he was a little in over his head. And if it's all right with you, could I take care of Bear and him?
She leaves her mouth hanging open slightly. She looks like she wants to say something.
It's kind of the only thing I have left to do for him, since I couldn't fucking
I would
watch his
appreciate
back.
that. Thank you. I don't think I'd be able to handle seeing him like this.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I don't. Pretty sure he wouldn't want you to see him this way either. Do you have? Is there a place you'd like him? Somewhere specific, or?
Big tree, out back.
All right.
He used to love sitting under it.
Okay. I'm just... God, I'm so fucking sorry.
It's not your fault. You did all you could. Thank you, Louise. Thank you.
Don't know if I'll deserve it, but I'll take it. She pushes the rest of that vodka bottle over to her and leaves it. And she says...
She grabs it up by the neck and just takes a huge swig.
Got one more question for you.
She looks up and meets your eyes.
Me and Barry, we got stuff to discuss.
He was heading towards St. Louis.
Anything else he tell you? Any information that might help me find him?
That he was sorry.
Oh, he's sorry, all right. And I will just sort of give her one more nod, and I will walk out the door.
Okay. She doesn't even get up to close the door. She just sort of...
I will close it behind me.
The rest of you see Louise walking out.
Connor, to save time off screen, would this guy have been willing to trade his hat and goggles for a bottle of scotch?
Make a charm roll?
What? Wait, what?
Taking the
Can
sting out of the
can
wound
I-
there, Lanny.
Can I instead
What did I miss?
Can I instead attempt to not necessarily attempt to scare him, but just make him think I'll leave him alone with an intimidation roll?
Who's this
And
guy?
now-
What did I miss?
And now for something
And
completely
now for
different.
something completely different.
That's an 8.
You're wearing a skull, right?
I'm in full Apex attire. I
Okay.
step out of these bushes. I step out of the bushes and I'm basically like, I want your hat and your goggles. I have this. And I hold forward just a bottle of whiskey.
He raises his hands in the air. Whoa, buddy, I don't want any trouble. Oh. You want the hat?
And the goggles.
He sort of slowly raises his hand up, plucks the hat off his head, and reaches a hand out for the bottle.
And the goggles.
The goggles came with the hat. He just sort of pulled them all off at once.
I hand him the bottle and take the hat, and I disappear back into the bushes.
he sort of runs off after that.
This would be the best fucking video game merchant ever. He just appears out of bushes.
Oh my god, that'd be
I love it. What are you buying?
You have a hat with goggles.
Yeah. All right, I'll keep that in my inventory. This will be important
Wow.
later.
Sure,
It's a secret that'll help us later.
Mhm.
maybe. Never know.
Yeah, I'm back out front by the time you're finished with your drama scene.
Okay.
That was very moving.
Oh God, thank you.
That I am very sorry to
just
take all the
wondered
wind out of.
Sal.
Just
Oh, yeah, I did
all the tension.
Took the sting right out of the wound.
What are
he's
the
just like, "Oh, hi, guys."
Every drama needs a B plot. There was your B
Yeah,
plot.
there you go.
There you go.
To
So
swing
the
back a little bit though, as Cynthia sees Louise coming out, instead of asking how she is, she actually says, "How did Phil take it?"
He's all right. He knew. He's glad she's looking so good. And I need to. Fuck. She starts going around the building. I gotta find a shovel.
you find a shed back there, and it's open and it has equipment in there. You easily find a shovel. She's got a couple.
All right, I'm gonna grab that shovel and I'm gonna head off to that tree. I'm gonna say to them almost like, I'm gonna do this on my own if you don't mind.
Hey, no
well,
problem.
we'll stay nearby. I don't think being on your own is smart, as the guard said.
It's fine.
I'll be right at the front of the house if y'all need something, all right? And I'll just be holding up my book of science. I'm at the Robco part now.
All right, just give me some time. She heads off to that tree.
Got all the
Is
time
there,
in the world, baby.
Does the side of the tree the side of the tree not facing the house look like it has a pretty good sunrise sunset view?
Yeah.
All right, she will choose that side for reasons.
Okay. So you get digging.
Yep.
Roll me body just to see how long it takes you.
Oh God!
Oh no!
Oh
In
my
Days
god.
later.
The emotional trauma is so heavy that lifting the dirt just
Yeah, you.
It's
Dirt
a
is
real,
heavy
it's a
with
real, it's a real crappy shovel.
So the very moment you strike the earth with the shovel, you hear a as the rotten wood just completely breaks apart.
oh my god.
That was double ones, by the way, for those of you. Who
It,
Worst roll ever.
So Cynthia, hearing that rotten wood sound, as she is somewhat nearby, can she makeshift a new handle for Louise?
Check that shed, see if there's like a hoe or something.
Something to help her out?
What sort of tools do you have on hand, Cynthia?
Guns.
I just have lots of guns and knives.
Dig the grave with the bullets. Shoot the ground.
Shoot the ground.
dig a grave with guns.
Me-
Until it is
me-
a hole.
Meanwhile, I'm just half a Home Depot out there just going, and the fusion cell goes there? Wow.
Yeah, I don't really have a lot that would be useful in that way, shape, or form.
Well, you can check the shed to see if there's anything else in there.
Yeah, I'll as soon as I hear that, I'll like quietly go into the shed and look around and see if there's something else that we could jerry-rig and do a usable shovel.
Apex will just be squatting and drawing and pretending not to pay attention because drawing attention to her would probably make her lose pride.
Oh, to be honest, Louise isn't that concerned about that. She probably just there's going to come a certain point if Cynthia doesn't find anything, she's probably just going to ditch it and dig it by hand if she has to.
Y'all, I heard something break. Y'all need something? Or...
Well,
Yep.
let's see what we find in the shed first. What would I roll for that, Connor?
Roll wits.
Okay. Oh my god! Double ones!
now
Yeah,
roll
most
20s
Pressing
we're in the
burial
we had.
ever.
And
Damn.
that, the shed collapses.
And there's the Saturday rolls for you.
There you
What
go.
the heck?
Like the man once said, there is no shovel.
Oh. Okay. Well,
You find a pocket knife.
you know what? Cynthia, after she comes out, looks at Louise and is like, shakes her head, like, nah, no luck. But she will reach up under her dress and pull out a couple of throwing knives and hand Louise one.
Louise takes it, looks at it, and is like, fuck it. Starts doing her damnedest to dig this fucking grave.
Okay.
And Cynthia will try and help if she is allowed to stay.
It
Since
takes
it's gonna be a
you-
longer thing.
It takes you hours to dig this grave. You both get absolutely filthy in this time. You are both exhausted. Well, not really you, Cynthia.
Well,
but-
once Apex sees that it's a group effort or allowed to be a group effort, he would help.
Cynthia will
Excellent.
pull out another
Nice.
knife
I
and
will
give it to him, and another knife and give it to Alvin.
I will
Apex does
also
not
help.
need a knife.
Four,
Oh,
throw-
fair.
four throwing knives working in tandem to dig this hole.
Well, Apex has a big old death claw on.
Right,
You're all slightly less exhausted at the end of all this, but
Hooray!
Lord!
I will do
What
a
the
body.
fuck?
No way.
Phil
What?
Phil doesn't want to go.
2 on that one.
Sadness of it
Phil
all.
doesn't want to go.
Oh, I'm making fun.
Hey,
There you go.
Alvin with the save.
I was about to go ahead and just like put on my power fist and go scoot back.
Oh my
Alvin,
god.
Just make
Alvin,
a hole.
you're used to work like this. You sort of figure out a way to like jerry rig like a spade with your power fists, and you are slightly less you're used to long bouts of work like this, so you're not quite exhausted. But the rest of your group, after probably a good 3 hours of digging this hole with the good
Like,
knives.
I feel like we had to dig through like a ton of like buried concrete at some point.
Oh my
It's
god.
There's just a permeated layer of ossified like mole rats we had to dig through.
But
At one
you-
point when the when we've been digging for like a really long time, and like the sadness has kind of worn off because you're doing something like that with that much emotion, it just kind of wears off after a while. Cynthia looks up at Louise and goes, "Does Phil really want to be buried?"
Gonna keep him here with his mom. How deep is the grave now? Is it about right?
Well, he's just a bunch of bones now, so you probably don't need to dig too terribly
mean, I'm-
deep.
I'm not going for the full 6 feet, but I feel
Yeah,
like
exactly.
at least 3 would be pretty good.
Yeah, you managed to make a hole about that time.
Louise will do her best to wipe off the shit off her face, though she probably makes it worse because her hands are filthy.
Yeah, you're
She'll-
all filthy at this point. That's unavoidable.
She'll turn to the other three and go, "Can you guys give me a minute, please?
Of
Do the
course.
rest. I can do the rest myself."
Mm-hmm.
We'll be nearby.
And I'm looking up at the sky. How late is it now?
It's getting dark at this point.
We may want to consider trying to find some place here to rest for the night. I hate to bother Miss Thompson again, but anyway, let me take care of this first.
We can go look while you're saying your goodbyes.
I'll stay
Yeah.
with Louise if y'all doing that. If it's getting dark, I don't want... You heard what the man said.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just kind of watch them go, and I'll get my bag out, open it up, take that skull out, and I will gingerly try to spread the rest of the bones in the bag into the grave.
Okay. You manage to, without too much trouble, lay out the remains of Phil.
Take the skull, hold it up level with my face, and so to go. Well, kid, what do you think? She's gonna do that trademark grin. Yeah, me too. She will finish up what she needs to finish up, and she will go find the others.
Okay. As you pat down the last of the dirt, Miriam comes out and looks over your work. You broke my shovel.
Sorry.
It's fine.
But, my friends, helped me out with that.
I see that. She notes like all the dirt and mud that you've been caked in now. Thank you. All of you. If you need a place to stay tonight, you're welcome in my home. Always.
I would actually, heard some rumors that, family tends to come around here at night. We'd really appreciate a safe place.
Absolutely. Much obliged, ma'am.
Of course. As you look over Phil's grave, gentle breeze blows through the dead branches of the tree that he loved so much. Rattles a bit. The branches sort of sway in your direction, Louise. Almost as if the tree is bowing.
She'll just sort of smile a little. Ah, let's get inside, guys.
Yes,
Yeah, no problem.
you're all more than welcome. I'll be out here for a while.
Hey, no trouble.
Thank you again, ma'am.
Thank you.
Rather than go inside, Apex is going to find a place to hide and watch her just to make sure that nobody attacks her at night while she's out alone.
Okay. Go ahead and roll wits for me.
9.
Okay. You watch over her. You hear people sort of starting to close doors all around as the night gets darker and darker, and small candle lights and the gentle hum of generators starts to permeate the air as lights turn on inside all these houses around you. Some of them. And nothing seems to happen. Eventually, Miriam makes her way back inside.
At which point Apex would as well.
Oh, I didn't notice you.
That was the idea.
Aha. Thank you.
After you.
She nods and opens up the door, and she beckons you inside.
Apex takes one more look around outside and goes in.
Okay. She begins to walk around the house. She has a sort of like a Zippo, and she begins lighting candles around the home. And the place is semi-well lit, but there is sort of a very tangible darkness in some of these corners. As the candlelight can only do so much. You are all inside?
Apex
What would
will
you like
find
to
the
do?
darkest of the dark corners and sit.
Alvin will find
Louise just gonna take her bag and see if there's a place she can sort of bunk up for the night.
Yeah, you actually see what you probably believe to be Phil's room.
Oh.
I
It's got sort of light blue walls.
I sort of
single
look
bed.
back and look at Miriam for a second before I go in.
She closes her eyes and sort of nods a little bit. He's not
I'll
using
just
it
nod.
now.
I'll nod back and go on in.
Anybody else?
Apex is just going to be drawing in his dark corner.
Cynthia's going to find an advantageous window to keep watch from. And
Okay,
then make her rounds in the house at night.
All right. You see on the second floor of this house there are a couple of large windows outlooking the street.
Okay.
Alvin, before finding one of those chairs at a table to pull up into for the night, he'll go upstairs for a second, and just not really knowing where Louise is at, just go, Louise, you up, or you want to lay down for right now?
I haven't fallen asleep yet. What? Want to talk about something?
I just want to know if y'all doing all right. I mean, I figured one good turn worth another. Just considering, me having my little episode back in '85. I figured if this is just big and heavy for you, you might want to talk about it. I want to thank you again for that, by the way.
Don't thank me. Suppose it's just being decent, maybe? Or as decent as I tend to get.
Oh, I agree though.
I think for now I'll just get a little bit of shut eye. Still got a lot to do with this situation before I'm done.
I got y'all. If you need anything, I'll go ahead and be right by your side, all right? That's a promise now.
Thanks, Alvin.
Hey, no trouble at all. We machinists aren't one to leave a job half finished, you know.
No, you are not.
Alvin will grin as only an Alvin can. All right then. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and turn in down there. I'll go ahead and see y'all in the morning then. All right.
All right.
All right. Hey, take her easy now. Have a good night.
You too.
And Alvin will clamber and find a nice chair to go ahead and just zonk out in.
Okay. Yeah, sure enough, you find old easy chair that you plop down in. It's cozy for, the apocalypse.
The Armageddon chic.
Okay. Unless anybody else has anything left they want to do for the evening.
Apex would slumber,
You sleep.
curled up in a corner.
It's the darkest corner.
It's cozy.
Cynthia's just keeping watch
Okay.
in the new town.
Go ahead and roll me. Oh, it's.
God, let's hope it goes better. Well,
Wow, that is better.
Finally, all the brave stuff got the bad rolls out.
Hey,
thank the
that's
Lord.
pretty good.
Yeah.
So, sure enough, what would you see?
I don't know. What would I see?
What do your synth eyes see?
I'd say you rolled well enough for this.
This.
As you're passing by one of the windows, sort of on your patrol, you're trying to keep your footsteps as quiet as possible so you don't disturb the ones who are
Sleepers.
sleeping. What you do see
Is
you hear the fall of several boot steps outside. They are quick in their pace, and they are quite enough that you get the sense that you only just barely managed to pick this up.
oh wow. Okay.
And as you look outside, you see a group of 5 people.
Outside of the house?
Mhm.
Like waiting outside of the house.
They're not waiting, they're moving. They are moving
Oh.
down the road.
Oh. What can I make out anything that they're wearing or like formation pattern, anything?
Make another wits roll.
Okay.
I might give something to you here.
7?
Okay. From what you're able to pinpoint, they are all wearing the same outfit.
Oh fuck. Okay.
It appears to be sort of like a leather jumpsuit number with a big padded Kevlar vest over the front. The leather jumpsuit itself underneath is a really dark navy blue. They've got black gloves, black military style boots. Some of them are wearing helmets with these weird visors in front of them, and the one in front has these large goggles. These people look very well kitted out.
Hmm. And we didn't see anything like this during the day as we came in?
No.
Okay. Very quickly and quietly, she will rouse the others. Actually, she would go to Miriam first.
Okay. As you walk down, Miriam never left her like she never left the foyer.
Right.
And she is nursing that vodka bottle, and she is drooling. There's quite a bit missing from that bottle. You get the sensation that she might be pretty hammered.
Oh, Lord. Cynthia sighs very heavily and is like, well, fuck me. She's not going to understand that I'm like, ah. So once she sees that she's super drunk, she goes,
Yeah, go for it.
Is she like not even conscious?
She
or
is sleeping.
Okay, then yeah. Cynthia will not disturb her and will quietly go to wherever everyone are. They all in the same area, or
Louise is in her own room. Apex slept in the corner of the main room. I'm not sure. I'm sure Alvin slept in a chair somewhere in that same room.
okay. She'll go up to Apex first, wake him, like slightly wake him up. I'm sure he wakes up pretty quickly.
Yeah, sleeps on edge.
Crouches down in front of him. Apex. Boot steps outside. About 5 of them. They look military. Or, well, prepared. Keep an eye on where they go.
I'll track them. And
Yes.
Apex goes to quietly track them.
Okay. Make Make 2 wits rolls. 1 to stay silent and 1 to follow them.
Oh god.
And 10 for stealth. Ooh, and a 6 for keeping tabs on them.
Okay.
They might have already left by the time I wake him up, like me, because they were running, I would assume.
Between the two,
I dive out an open window into a bush. I start looking around. Where are they?
Oh my God.
You just swan dive out of the window into a bush.
I do a swanton bomb into a bush.
they're just gone. I was like, oh, that was so good too.
As the Apex Jeff Hardy swanton bombs out into a bush. You get the sensation that with the pace that Cynthia was describing them moving at, they're probably a good ways away from you now.
I hold up here until anybody else makes a movement from inside, just to like in case they double back, basically. I have little information. I don't know who I'm looking for.
Okay.
And Cynthia will then go to Alvin. Alvin.
Yeah. Oh.
There's 5 people outside. Heavy boot fall. Look like they were wearing some tough gear as well. I'm wondering if it might be the family.
wouldn't be good if they were.
Not at all.
What's the play?
Apex is already outside, looking for him, I hope. But they might be gone. They were moving at a pretty good clip. I don't know if we should go after him in the night, or... Seems like they're that well prepared, we may not stand a chance against them.
You want me to start fortifying the inside just in case?
Might not be a bad plan.
All
I
right.
just want to make sure they don't come through and snatch anybody, really.
Yeah, that'd be a bad sign. I'm nowhere near as sneaky as Apex is, though. You made a good call with that one. Most I could do is just fortify the area. You want me to do that?
Stay alert for the time being. I
Y'all
don't know
got
if we should go out after him or not. We're not equipped for something like that.
No, we ain't. But you give the word, and I'll throw on the old power fist. All right?
Appreciate it.
Mm.
Should I even wake Louise? Are we safe in here?
I'm thinking for the time. They wouldn't go ahead and looking outside the house. You think there was some way they could go ahead and jump through the second floor?
Doubtful. Second floor is a second floor.
All right, no, she should be all right then. I'd say it's your call whether or not you want to wake her up or not, but she's had a hell of a day.
Connor, where, based on where we had walked through, where did it seem like they were heading?
They seem like they were heading to the west with the roll that you got.
Okay.
Or-
How large
wait,
is the
no.
town?
Am I stupid? Let me look at the compass rose.
I
to figure
doubt
out-
that you're stupid.
Never eat shredded wheat, forehead.
I am stupid. They were heading east.
I thought it was soggy wheat.
I always heard shredded wheat when I was a child. My aunt always told me that one.
Oh, well, I'm still saying honk shoe, honk shoe.
Shredded wheat.
So they were heading east, and that's not enough information to go off of.
I guess east in general would be St. Louis.
Did they look like normal people?
For the most part, what you saw.
Okay. Okay. Cynthia will think on it for a little while, and don't worry about it, Alvin. Seems like they were in a hurry to get wherever they were going, so I don't think they're going to make any pit stops here.
Alrighty.
You get more sleep. We'll have plenty of traveling to do tomorrow. I'll go
Hey.
fetch Apex from the bushes.
Hey, you got it then. Alvin is so used to Apex at this point where he's like, of course he'd be in the bushes, and then just lay back in the easy chair.
Yeah, that's just like casual conversation at this point.
Apex is making cat sounds. He would do that.
Cynthia heads over to the window. Apex.
Slowly the head rises out of the bushes.
Cynthia will look around one more time, listen very intently. I think we're clear. Come back on inside.
Do you want me to check for signs of where they might have gone?
We wouldn't be able to handle them even if we found them. There's 5 of them.
That
They're all
remains to be
well
seen.
equipped. I understand, but come inside and sleep. Been digging for hours today. We're gonna have a long trek tomorrow.
Apex reaches up behind him and does that like reverse pull up through the window.
Oh my god.
I can't even imagine what that looks like.
Basically, grabs the inside of the window lid, lifts himself up, and just drags himself through.
Oh, now you're just showing off.
Yes, correct. That is the Apex.
Accurate.
Cynthia just nods once he's inside and is like, sleep well.
When Apex curls up under the window, keeping his senses open and sleeps.
All right. Provided there's nothing the rest of you want to do with your time, then the night passes with no further incident.
Hmm.
Nope, Alvin was just counting Ibots.
Cynthia's just still doing her guard duty.
Sun rises.
Honk shoe, honk shoe.
Sun rises on a brand new day.
Yes, it is.
And one by one, you all awaken.
I take it they didn't come back.
I didn't hear anything all night.
What you all talking about? Oh, good morning, by the way.
Morning.
The platoon that Cynthia saw last night.
Oh, yeah. No, they didn't come back or nothing?
Not that I saw. But I barely heard him in the first place. They
Morning.
were organized.
Louise
that
comes out with her
Louise.
bag and sort of looks to Cynthia. Something go on last night?
Group of 5 came by. Heavy boot fall, wearing leather jumpsuits, padded Kevlar. They had helmets on, too. Very organized. I don't think we could have taken them, but it might have been the family rolling through.
Louise sort of narrows her eyes at that, but she shrugs and she's like, well, we're not exactly equipped right now to take 5 people at once, so maybe for the best.
Yeah, that's probably the best call. And you barely heard him, Cynthia, so that's a talent.
Trained. Makes me nervous.
Where's Louise looks around for Miriam.
She's staring out the window in her kitchen. She appears to have a cup of coffee.
Louise will sort of give the rest of them a look and say, we should probably head on our way.
Yo, got it.
If you don't want to say goodbye, yes.
Oh, I will real quick, but yeah. She'll step over to the kitchen and say morning.
Good morning.
We're gonna go ahead and get out of here, but thank you again for helping us out.
Thank you for bringing my boy back to me.
Yeah.
Even though he's not alive.
And,
It means a lot to me. If you're ever back through here again, my home will always be open to you.
you know, I was just gonna say I'm probably gonna pass by this way again sometime. Look, in the meantime, Louise pulls out her caps and hands over 100 to her and says, this was Phil's share that he had been building up. He was planning to send it back to you. Wanted to make sure you got that too.
A tired old smile creeps across her face, and she nods and she takes it. He always did his best to try and take care of me.
He said you took such good care of him. He just wanted to make sure you had the same. I'll take her hands and just sort of hold them for a second, just, shake them and be like, I'll be back around this park to see you again. Thank you again.
Stay safe. And kill that
Don't
son
worry
of a
about-
bitch for me.
I've got words for him, definitely. Goodbye, ma'am. She'll let go of her hands and turn and walk out the door.
She'll watch you for a brief moment more. And then she'll turn back and begin making herself some breakfast. And you are back on the streets of Clayton.
Louise will kind of pretty much just keep a pace towards the entrance of this place again that they came into in the first place.
So, from here, should we be heading straight for West Point? Or should we go to St. Louis to try to find potential allies?
I like the idea of some friends. Seems like I've got some good track record with them, right?
Sounds swell to me.
I think it'll be a lot easier if we have help going into West Point. We only have one contact there at this moment in time.
I'd like to go ahead and see if they also might have somebody who knows the lay of the land. Might be able to find a good point to get on in.
I like this plan. Solid. By the way, are we at the entrance of Clayton again at this point?
Yeah, if you want to be.
Louise heaves a big sigh, reaches into her backpack, and pulls out a skull. How you doing, buddy? You okay?
What?
Yeah, that was a rough one. You held it together pretty good, Phil. I'm proud of you.
Louise?
Hmm?
You want to explain?
I fell.
Yeah, well, me and Phil had sort of discussed this at length previously, but I did ask him if he wanted to come on with still, and he did. I mean, that's why I gotta come back. It's a pain in the ass, but don't worry. I'll get the rest of him. I'll get him back here again, but he seems to imply that he's worried about me going after Barry on my own. And let's face it, he's got words for Barry, too. Barry may not be able to hear them, but he's got them. It's Phil's choice, and I'm just honoring it. Right, buddy?
Alvin will smile at that.
Phil
Just
decays
nod
in
and-
agreement.
Go, I understand completely. All
I'm
right.
sorry. Did you just say Phil decays in agreement?
Yeah.
Oh, that ran right over my head.
Wow. Connor.
Heck of a lot lighter with just your skull, though,
Too
buddy. Jeez.
soon.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I gotta
Cynthia
say,
will
it
just
is.
like
Sorry, go ahead.
smile and shake her head.
I
Like,
gotta say, it is a
"Of
heck
course."
of a lot lighter with just your skull in there, though, dude. I gotta say that. Whew. Well, shall we?
Yeah, absolutely.
Is there a
Right.
guard by the front gate?
There is not.
Is there a guard anywhere?
You get the sensation that this isn't really like a legitimate town.
Town.
At least not this part of it. Seems to be more,
Fringe settlement.
neighborhood watch. Everybody looks out for everybody.
Do
There
I
isn't
see any like peeping neighbors, like watching us, kind of?
Yeah, you get a couple of stares. You're just new, and
Cynthia's gonna try and track someone who looks like they'd be brave enough to have a conversation, and walks up to them.
You spot a woman with sort of short blonde hair, sort of mousy looking. Huh? What?
Pardon the intrusion, ma'am. Last night, there was a group of about 5 heavily armored men that came through the town. Does that things happen often?
She looks at you a moment, and she sort of swallows and licks her lips. armored, you said?
Yes, ma'am.
Might be
Navy leather
archers.
jumpsuit. Archers. Ah, St. Louis.
We're pretty close. Wouldn't be shocked if it was one of their, not really patrols. They stay mainly around the arch, obviously, but they usually send people out to, go fetch supplies, scavengers.
Have you come across any?
I try to avoid them.
They don't make contact? Just come through.
They don't really need to.
Hmm.
They go out and they get what they need. The only time they really ever talk to anybody is when they need directions to someplace.
They're cordial, civil when they need help.
Professional is more the word I would use.
Makes sense.
Don't piss them off, though.
Anything I should know about them in general? Rumors you've heard?
Don't piss them off.
Understood. Well, thank you for your time. Appreciate it, man.
She nods and turns and keeps walking.
And Cynthia goes back to the group.
Alvin just fixes the cowling brace on his power fist and just looks up.
Archers.
Oh. Yeah, that explains it.
Heading back towards St. Louis last night. It was too much of a gamble to talk to him, but if we come across something like that again, might be worth it to say hello.
At
least now we kind of know what we're looking out for.
Yeah, they all got a matching uniform. That's easy to point out. At least they ain't no family.
Some relief in that, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Well, shall we move on?
I'm ready to go whenever
I
y'all
should
are.
say so.
After you.
All right, so where are you headed?
To St. Louis!
Was San Luis.
St. Louis.
Take me to St. Louis.
Louis.
My bottle of vodka. Oh, well.
You turn out of Clayton, away from Westport, and the four of you head down the road, and off in the distance.
And Phil.
And Phil's head. You buried the rest of him.
Hey, it's still Phil.
2.5 Phils.
Eh.
4.5 skeletons.
I'd love some fan art of us going off into the sunset like frickin' Wizard of Oz.
Oh, and more of the sunrise.
Wizard.
It's more of the sunrise at this point, and as the sun rises, it catches the silvery silhouette of the most famous landmark of the Midwest, the gateway to the west, the arch, off in the distance. And as you make your way towards it, that's where we're going to end the session for this week.
Woo!
Bye,
Bye,
Yeah.
Austin.
Bye, Austin.
Goodbye, Austin.
Goodbye,
Send
Austin.
firewood. Accept
Okay.
my calls.
You know, I realize I timed out the Florida trip I'm going on very well because I'll be out of town next weekend.
Ooh.
But I'll be back by the following weekend for Gateway.
Egg salad.
Huh.
This is
Well.
episode 10, I believe.
Episode 10, we're in the double digits, and you're finally making your way to St. Louis.
St. Louis!
Meet me in St. Louis, Louis. Meet me at the fair.
What? Yeah.
Oh my god.
Ugh, man, that was not stressful, but a weird feeling similar.
That was a very
Emotional.
heartfelt episode.
Good
Yeah,
job
a
on
lot
that,
of our
Sarah.
a lot of our episodes are less punchy, more sobby.
Aw.
Yeah.
You did get into combat for like the third time this entire game.
That's
Fly,
true.
boat flies. I hate those damn things in '76.
That's the first time I actually got Ricochet off. That's
Yeah.
nice.
What?
Oh, it felt good. It felt badass. Love it.
That is correct. They weren't in St. Louis proper this entire time.
Yep.
We've just
We
been
were
in the various
okay.
suburb rings.
Correct. You've been not quite in St. Louis. You've been to Chesterfield. You've been to Benbush. You've been to Fernwood.
We've been a lot of places.
You
We
have.
have.
And you were sort of... Where did you start out? You started out in St. Peter's.
Oh,
Started from the bottom. Now we're here.
nice.
True.
We're gonna go ahead. We're gonna go ahead and get to St. Louis, and we're gonna hear the Krusty Krab song, and then congrats, sailor, you made it to St. Louis.
Bye.
All right. Well, let's go down the horn and tell people where they can find you. Let's
Oh yeah.
start with Caitlin. Where can I find you?
Wow. You can find me at Boobs McBalrog all over the internet. On Twitch, you can find me at twitch.tv/Boobs McBalrog with zeros instead of O's because Twitch doesn't like boobs. You can also find me on Nerd On the podcast with nerdon.tv. We have 2 shows that come out every single week, every Tuesday and every Thursday. We talk about movies and video games and music and all sorts of fun stuff. So come check that out. Twitch.tv/nerdon. We record one of our shows live every Sunday at 3 p.m. PST. That's me.
Yahoo!
Yahoo!
Rabbit, where can I find you?
Yo, what's up? It's me, Rabbit. You can
Hi.
find me on Twitch. Hi, how are you doing? Doing fine. You can find me on twitch.tv/Hey Mr. Rabbit. I stream Monday and then Tuesday through Saturday, except for the Saturdays where I'm here playing Alvin Bronson, super good boy. And I play horror games, retro games, and RPGs mostly. It's really good. It's a really good fun time. If you came here because you're like, oh, Alva's a nice guy. Oh boy, do I have to disappoint you when you come to my channel because it is very bawdy. Anyway.
Hee hee.
But yeah, that's me.
You know, I just realized there's a place in St. Peter's called Mechanicsville. You should have been from there. Damn it.
Oh
Oh,
God.
it's so good.
Go back and just Austin, go back and just like
God, it's so
Yeah.
good.
Take it into the
Just-
remix. Oh my god.
Yeah, just have Austin go back to every time I said Riverside, it's just a speak and spell going mechanics, man.
Mechanicsville.
Oh my God.
We gotta retcon it. We gotta take it all back.
Oh no!
Anyway, Lanny, where can they find you? What are you up to?
You can find me all over the internet at Lanny Pator. Also, find me on Instagram at Lan1gram. Feel free to follow it there. I post selfies and food pictures and pictures of my animals. If you're into that sort of thing. I am heading out of town on Thursday, so just gonna be playing a bunch of random grab bag stuff. Except on Monday, where we will be playing through. If you're not all tabletopped out, hanging out over here on the Unexpectables, where you have plenty of amazing tabletop experiences. Sorry, inhaled some carrot.
Mm. Don't
Yeah.
die.
Working on it.
That's okay.
There we go. With that out of the way,
Woo!
We got a tabletop game over on my channel on Mondays at 4:00 Central Time called The Ties That Bind, or as I call the show itself, Roll With Me. Connor, Caitlin, you guys join me as well as Shadow Dancer Bob and Takahata 101 as we just got to the City of the Elves with all their strange land lost in time future tech, and you guys get to experience that for the first time. And I've been having a lot of fun coming up with stuff. If you want to see what's up there, feel free to tune in on Monday. Other than that, I'll just be playing some random stuff till I head off to see my family for the first time in over a year.
Ooh, that sounds lovely.
Yeah.
Sarah, where can I find you?
I'm on Twitter at Sarah with an H, Emily, Willia. Yeah, I've already done the shilling, so I'm here on Saturdays, alternating Gateway and Prince Division. Yeah.
Yeah.
Still got a skull. Woohoo!
Woo! She probably won't find out.
She'd have to be pretty barbaric to check.
Look, I'll bring her another bottle, okay?
Oh my
She'll
God.
understand. And I said I fully intend to bring him back.
From the
All
dead.
right. And they can find me on Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube.com/DistortionDevil. I stream Tuesdays, Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. Playing some tabletop simulator. Yakuza 3. I'll also tomorrow be guest starring on D6DR as Sirocco, the Air Genasi barbarian.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that's fun.
Yeah. I'm charmed. And I'm raging. And I'm level 15. And I have 29 strength.
Oh my God.
You just punched the mountain.
Like, oh dear.
That is impossibly strong.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. He's
He's
got the power of 1,000 ants.
10,000 ants.
Oh no.
belt of storm giant strength is a hell of a drug.
Yeah,
God.
it is.
Yeah. But that's happening. Be sure to check out Dead House Sonata, where you can play as Phil, as he joins the ranks of the dead to fight the living.
You
and-
make me want it now. Like,
and
can you
you
just
should-
be a skull?
You should buy it then. You could be Lich Phil the Lich.
Yeah, Phil the Lich. Phillich, as you would know.
There's the vampire, the latest character that had his render revealed, Lord Zorin. He has a talking head as well, except his actually talks.
Oh.
Oh.
Just
Like
sad.
Vampire Hunter D, kinda.
Well, it's literally just the spy from Meet the Medic, except louder.
Oh my god, yes. Phil House Sonata.
Give me
Oh
later.
my God.
Maybe later.
Forgot what I was saying. Right, Dead House Sonata. Purchase the link. Download the game. It's not available for download yet. Wait until
See the
later this year.
rainbow. Taste the rainbow.
Also, be sure to check out my DM's Guild, where I have 5th edition subclasses. I just released the Hellfire Soul Sorcerer, and next month I'll be releasing the Augmented Artificer. Have you ever wanted to be Mega Man? Have you ever wanted to be Adam Jensen?
Yeah.
Well, now
Yes.
you can be all of those, and then
Oh
some.
my god. I'm sorry, take the stage. I swept the leg, Johnny.
Augmented Artificer coming out next month. Yeah, I'll be releasing subclasses every month for the rest of the year, and that's gonna be a lot of fun.
Wanted
Wow.
to be Mega Man ever since I was 5, so you already got my vote.
Yeah. the ion cannon. It just transforms your fucking arm into a heavy crossbow that deals force damage.
Oh
Jesus
my God.
Christ. I've been trying to do back and forth bits on Discord for a while, and considering I can never see your face, I never know when it's a good time for me to go ahead and jump in on the skit. But I keep trying every time, hasn't stopped my stride at all.
Yeah. Also, Lucky Snowy 44, yes, Dead House Sonata will be available on consoles.
Oh god, really? That's awesome.
Other than that, I'd like to thank our sponsor for this evening, Die Hard Dice. I got to roll a lot of dice, and I was very happy about that. For this episode, Die Hard Dice is a huge selection of both polymer and metal dice in many different sizes, shapes, and colors to suit your needs. They also carry some dice accessories, dice trays, rolling scrolls where you can. It provides little mats that are shaped like scrolls to roll your dice on. Dice towers and folding magnetic trays. So you can hopefully not accidentally throw your dice in the trash and instead roll it in the tray like a normal human being.
Wow.
If you're into that sort of thing.
It's true. And you can get all that and more at dieharddice.com. And if you use the code TASK, you can get 10% off your order at dieharddice.com.
Ooh.
But other than that, I'd say it's time to bring us in. I'm going to read off some more bits and subs. And then we're going to take us home.
Yeah.
All right. Pull this train into the station, buddy.
Thank you, Nom Nom Goblin, for the 100 bits. Louise, an emotional bit of character development, backstory, and progressing her personal quest. The Apex. Hat.
Oh my God.
This will be important, maybe. Don't worry about it.
It's a secret that'll help us later.
Yeah.
Kane Time, thank you for the 1,000 bits. Bravo, Sarah. I remember when you first started on episode 2 of Prince Division and you were unsure of yourself and awkward. Now you're making us cry. You're growing and becoming more powerful. Soon you'll be unstoppable. Still awkward, though.
Thank you. Oh, the awkwardness is part of the parcel, so.
Yeah. Chaos, War Priest, thank you for the 1,000 bits. Here's Swanton Bomb and gets RIW flashbacks. Nice. Yeah. Blackfoot Ferret, thank you for the elite bits. I've been eating shredded weed instead of shredded wheat. That's what happened.
That sounds like a good night.
That's not good.
Yeah, it probably doesn't taste that great, but still, you get the intended effect.
I mean, you need to cook it a little to draw out the THC. Otherwise, you're literally just eating a plant that's doing nothing for you.
Anybody make wheat cereal now? I wonder.
Wheaties cereal.
Wheaties! It writes itself!
My name's Michael Jordan. I'm high as fuck.
Stop it.
Get
some help.
Oh, man.
Kane Time, thank you for the 200 bits. Now Barry has to look Phil dead in the eyes.
Oh.
That's the plan.
Oh.
Nice.
Oh, whoa!
The Friendly Grim, thank you for the 300 bits. Oh, Phil, you're late, but that's okay. And your head less the living make my job harder. Yeah. And finally, Magic Ninja Go, thank you for the 100 bits. Wait, where can I find this Air Genasi? You can find it on youtube.com/D6DR tomorrow at, I think like 7 p.m. CST.
Wahoo!
Wahee!
That's a good house. That's a good Dead House pun. Huh.
He's a big French motherfucker. He has a big sword, and he is very lightningy. But other than that, I'd like to thank you all for stopping by and watching episode 10 of Gateway. And now, we're going to take you on a journey to someone else's channel.
Oh, shit!
And since we're all talking about Dead House Sonata, let's go ahead and raid another Dead House Sonata advocate, Varric Khaldun. He's got 1 viewer. Let's change that.
Aww.
Oh, my.
Get him.
Get him.
Get him.
What are we gonna tell him?
The raid message will be, and I quote, "Did someone say Dead House Sonata?
Oh my god!
The action RPG where you can play as the dead to fight the living?"
You're gonna type that in there so they can copy and paste it, right?
Yeah.
Quickly! You're just furious typing.
Quick, type faster.
There you go. Did someone say
There
Dead
you
House
go.
Sonata, the action RPG where you play as the dead to fight the living? There you go.
There you
Bye,
go.
guys.
All right,
Copy it.
chat.
Weapon fight.
Copy it! Quick, copy it!
I'll see you next week for the Prince Division, and then the week after that for more Gateway. And we'll see you on Wednesday for the wrap up of the Elemental Planes arc as well on the Unexpectables. Take care, everyone. We'll see you next time. Have a goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye.